Yes, sir. Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Lego. What it do,
Yeah.
what it don't, what it is, and what it ain't. It's your boy, Don Otaku, aka Don Solo, aka Solo the Don, aka Solo D Swaggy, aka the Hot Take General. And this is Dual-Wield Gaming Podcast, episode 25, if I remember it correctly. 25. And of course, I'm here with my co-host, Subegels, aka Subeg, aka the Green Thumb, aka the Gaming Gardener, aka what we got today?
Ooh, I'll be the Mad Dog of the Seas.
Mad Dog of the Seas. And Lognet's very own, as well as the co-host of this fine establishment. What to do, man? How you feeling? You feeling better?
Yeah, way better than last week for sure. It was a it was a struggle to complete that episode, but hey, we're back. We're rejuvenated. I'm good though. What about yourself?
Man, I've been Gucci.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Gucci, I've been going through catalogs. I had to get on my Gucci Mane shit.
Okay.
I was on my Gucci Mane grind for a little bit. Although I'm not gonna go through his whole discography because there's only certain albums that I like. But
Yeah.
Trap God, that was a fucking classic, bro.
Okay.
But currently it's Kid Cudi Marathon. And bro, the influence that this man had on not only rap but music in general, like especially today, going back to his early shit and looking at how artists are today, like there will be like music in general would just be in a different state if it wasn't for Kid Cudi.
Absolutely.
His influence is crazy. But like going back and some of the albums that I didn't like when they released, I'm actually like, you know what? This wasn't as bad as I remember it being. Like Indicud and even Indicud and Satellite Flight. Like especially Indicud, I used to hate on that a lot. But Indicud actually was like the going through it now. I was like, you know what, this shit actually kind of fire. I don't know what. There were some songs that I probably listened to like on the first time that I played through it. I was like, nah, this ain't it. And I really just never listened to him again. But listening to it, I was like, hold on, this shit was actually fire. What was I thinking? How have I not been listening to this? So it actually felt like I got some new songs to listen to now.
Okay.
But yeah, Kid Cudi,
Nice.
that's top 5 dead or alive for me. Like he's top 5, bro. Like really top 3, honestly.
Yeah.
Like Kanye and Cudi, they right there to me. But yeah, Cudi on repeat right now, or I guess not repeat, but he's all I've been listening to, vibing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the mood I'm in right now. I'm in that. Well, I'm in the happy Cudi mood, not the depressed Cudi.
The speeding bullet to heaven.
Yeah, we ain't on speeding bullet to heaven, Man on the Moon 2. not yet. We ain't trying to get there either. I don't want to live where. Look, there are certain albums that I'm like, I fuck with it, not relatable, but I love everything about this album. Man on the Moon 2 is one of those albums. I don't want to relate. I don't ever want to relate to Man on the Moon 2, but I fuck with it. Same with like Speeding Bullet to Heaven, 808s and Heartbreak. I definitely don't want to You know, I don't want to feel what they was going through in them. Speaking of sad albums, have you ever heard of a band called what is their Mount? Why am I forgetting their name? I gotta look it up. But they're called Mount something, and they have an album. A Crow Looked at Me. That's the name of the album. Mount Eerie.
Never.
One of the saddest albums I've ever heard in my life.
Okay.
Like, intro song just like will just ruin your whole day.
Wow.
Literally the intro song will ruin your day. Because the album is basically about I'm guessing the singer's wife who passed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it's a beautiful album, but that is just the most depressing album I've like. It's one of those I can appreciate it, but I will never listen to it again. And like because it was just so like depressing. I was like, bro, but it was so raw and so real. I was like, yeah, man, like I felt it. Like he was able to convey it very strongly that I was like, bro, I feel the pain in every lyric that he has put in, but I don't want to experience this ever again.
Shit, this sounds like a depressing album.
So like,
holy shit,
it's a very real, like a very real depiction in song form of loss that you really don't get. Like there's a lot of songs about loss, but that is the realest, like that's the realest depiction of loss that I've ever heard on a song. Like there's the Mariah Carey Bye Bye Bye, like where it's like, oh yeah, it's a happy song. There was nothing happy about that shit at all. So yeah, if you're ever just in a mood to ruin your day, Mount Eerie, A Crow Looked at Me, check that out. But we're not here to talk about being sad and depressed, because video games should not make you sad and depressed, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So yeah, Subegles, what have you been playing? Hopefully something more upbeat.
Of course. Yeah. So since last week, I haven't really been playing much of anything that is new. Like I dabbled into Monster Hunter Wilds, but it didn't, like I thought it was gonna grab me because the beta was like the beta grabbed me, but I don't know, maybe it's just kind of like a time and place thing. But it also could be that the game, if it wildly varies in performance, like I can reach the max 120, but then it drops down to like 70, 60. So it's like the performance is very like the range is wild. So it's like it kind of like put me off from like really trying it out, like really investing my time into it. But yeah, so the main game that I've been playing is Pirate Yakuza. I am on either chapter 2 or 3. It still feels like we're in the process of like opening everything up still, because we went to Madlantis, and then to like sign ourselves up for this like tournament, we need like a certain amount of crew members, and we also need to upgrade our ship. So then we went for Madlantis to the actual Honolulu island. So it's like we're just traveling the world still. Finally got to Honolulu though, which I'm assuming is the same space that Infinite Wealth takes place in. At least that's what I think. I don't know if there's more to it in Infinite Wealth, but it's still pretty big. It's still very Yakuza in the fact that it's like a small area, but it's very dense. But yeah, so right now I'm just in the process of getting up to 15 crew members, because I think that's what we needed for the story. And then Yeah, it's cool though. It's fun. I'm still enjoying it a lot. It's very silly. It's very not serious. I'm not paying too close attention to the story just because it's very like zany and wacky, and it's just kind of like it's just there. Like I'm not paying too much attention to it, but it's just there. But it's fun though. The combat's still super fun. I like the Mad Dog style more than the Sea Dog style. Just because the impact of each punch feels a little bit more like there's just more impact with it versus the Sea Dog style with the swords and stuff. But it's still fun though. I'm enjoying it. Definitely want to get through this because it's not that long. At least that's what I know of. Just based off of like reviews and stuff. It's not a long game, but yeah, I'm trying to get through it. That's really all I've been playing though.
Okay. Yeah, as for myself, as you can see on the screen, I don't know if I talked about this last week, if it came out. I don't think it did. Demon Tides?
Yeah, you talked about it last week.
Okay, just making sure. So I talked about it last week. I think I was just getting into it, but I'm still hooked on this demo. I have not even completed everything in the demo, which is crazy.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm still going through these islands because I keep trying to do the speed running stuff after I complete an island, which ends up taking more of the time. So I have about 8 hours in it. I haven't played too much, but for a demo, 8 hours is still pretty good.
Yeah.
And I thought that once Steam Next Fest ended, he was gonna close the demo off, but no, it's still up and you can still download it. You can still play it, which is great. So I've still been playing through this, doing all of the areas. It's amazing. Like most of the criticisms I've had with Astrobot, this game answers them in the best possible, in the best ways, but not even just like it exceeds my expectations on how good it, like how much it does. Because I would even go on to say that this might actually, like, in some ways it's better than some Mario game, like some 3D Marios for me.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably the best move set that you get right off the bat in any 3D Mario, or I said 3D Mario, 3D platformer. And if besides the capture mechanics, because there's so much that you can do with that depending on like what enemies or what objects are around, that's the only reason I'll give capture mechanic is still gonna be like top. But if you did Mario Odyssey with just Cappy without the actual capture mechanic, I think this would beat Odyssey in terms of moveset. And I was saying this a little earlier before we started, but this is a 3D platformer that is for 3D platformer like veterans. This is not the 3D, like most 3D platformers are really there to be great for everyone, including especially new players. This is not a 3D platformer for new players because of how advanced it is and how free you are to do everything in any order. Yeah. Which for a lot of people, that's going to be confusing, like especially newer players. It's going to be confusing as to where you need to go and like what you need to do next. But there's a lot of puzzle solving even in the way that you handle everything, because there are actual like puzzles throughout the world. Like, okay, you get to an island and you have these 3 hands and the hands are pointing in different directions, and basically you have to complete the challenges of each of the islands that is pointing to and then you're able to unlock what's in that island that's in the middle of all three of them, and they'll have things like that. So there is some kind of guidance, but for new players, this moveset, even for me as a veteran, this moveset is so advanced that it's kind of confusing at times, with like, because you have to chain together certain moves. You literally have to chain them together in certain ways. So sometimes if you're trying to do like the long jump, you have to dash, jump, then do RB, and then press A if you want to do like the dive bomb afterwards. Or if you're trying to do the dive, you have to press AA and then RT. Like it really depends on like the order that you do it, because if you do ARTA, it's totally different if you do AART. Like, so it's very intricate, but at the same time, because of that, there are times where I'm over here doing something that I'm not supposed to do, or like I'm going in the most optimal like I'm trying to get through something, but I'm doing it in a very unoptimal way. There's a way that you're supposed to do it, but I'm not doing it in that way. And I'm like, I know I could just like go around and find the actual right way to get to this place. Mm-hmm. But instead, I just like, okay, what can I do with this moveset to see if I can get through it? And I'll just be sitting here for like 10 minutes trying to figure it out. And I finally figure out the moveset that can get me through this section without having to go around and do it the right way. Mm-hmm. But most games don't. Like, that's my biggest issue with Astrobot, is that it's so linear that there's really only one way of handling things. Like, there is the speed running parts, there's ways to shave off time, but
you can't experiment.
Yeah, there's really no experimentation when it comes to the actual platformer. Like, Odyssey was all about the experimentation.
Yep.
Super Mario 64 can be about the experience. Same with Sunshine, there can be experimentation. I feel like really just Galaxy 1 and 2, 3D World, those are the ones that really don't have that experimentation angle. But this takes the best of what I love about 3D Mario, and puts it in this open world, very intricate, very advanced 3D platformer. Now, the only cons that will like keep this from being a like 90 plus Metacritic 3D platformer like a Astrobot or a Mario is definitely polish. This being an indie game, there is some polish that is lacking compared to obviously games backed by big AAA publishers like Nintendo and Sony. But it also just has this charm to it, that it feels like it's almost there. It just needs like work with the animations. There's a lot of clipping issues as well, which I'm not the one who's gonna be complaining about that, but I know that that stuff alone can keep like reviewers from giving it a higher score. So I feel like the animations need a little work, because some of them can be wonky, or sometimes you'll do the move but then it won't actually do the animation. And then camera can glitch out every now and then. It's not PS2, PS3 era bad. Like fucking Ninja Gaiden, definitely not that bad at all. But every now and then you can be doing something and the camera kind of catches onto something that it shouldn't be. But those are really my only nitpicks. Like, honestly, if they kind of spend their time working on those aspects, this would be a 3D platformer that is like uncontested, honestly, until the next 3D Mario, at least. But yeah, I'm loving this game. Demon Tides.
Hell yeah.
But other than that, Avowed is still taking up a lot of my time. I'm
Nice.
enjoying that game a lot. I'm enjoying it more now. I got to a part where I was kind of bored with it, I'm not gonna lie. But now we are back in the groove of things. I forgot to record new gameplay though, so have fun with the old gameplay. But yeah, this game, I'm finally, like literally before the stream, I finally decided to move on to Fior, whatever. And I finally met Yatsiel, whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, got to the second area. But yeah, Avowed is started to really pick up for me, especially now that I got I got a new spell book.
Okay.
And I'm actually able to use the spells in it, which that made the magic feel good again. I was getting tired of doing the same 4 spells, but now it's actually like all of the new spells I got are just so impactful now. I'm just like, oh yeah, I love this. So yeah, I'm loving Avowed again.
Okay.
I'm kind of sad that I'm probably not gonna be playing it for a little while because of what comes out tomorrow.
Yep.
Split Fiction. So
sure.
Well, we'll see. Well, I'll be playing it with my girl, so I guess when she's at work, I'll still have some Avowed time.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the 2 mainstays. But I did play some more Steam Next Fest demos that I want to talk about. I'll keep it brief though.
No worries.
So this game is called Aethermancer. It is a roguelite monster catching RPG. And I won't say very reminiscent of Pokemon, because they do a lot that isn't very Pokemon-esque, but obviously with the monster catching aspect, you can easily compare it to Pokemon. But it has a very roguelite charm. The art style kind of reminds me of Wizard of Legend, if you played that. Sprite work and animation, really good, very fluid. I love it. Has some really good lighting effects that you would think would be in more 3D games, which we're starting to see ever since Octopath Traveler. It seems like good lighting in 2D pixel art games is like the new thing. So yeah, but it looks really good. You start off with only one monster that I actually don't know the names of. I forgot what they're called. But your monsters, you start off with one that you pick at the beginning of the game. You pick between 3 of them, of course. And I chose the fire one because, you know, it just looked cooler. It spoke to me. But yeah, the fire one, and then you capture the other monsters as you go. And then you can have 3 at a time. You cannot keep monsters in, like, there's no, like, you know how in Pokemon you'll have your PC and you can kind of switch between them. If you go to a computer, there's nothing like that. If you capture a 4th, you have to get rid of one of your monsters or replace them. You can't just like get it back afterwards. You have to capture another one like that if you don't like the one that you get. So like I said, this is a roguelite, and you die. Like, once all your monsters are defeated, you die, you go back to the start, and you repeat with new monsters, new techniques, because every time you level up, you do gain random abilities that you can pick from with each level up. And the leveling system is actually different than a lot of RPGs that I've ever played, because instead of having like experience points, and you have to get a certain amount of experience points to get to the next level. You basically have to complete a certain amount of battles with that monster. So the first level up, it'll literally just be complete 2 battles, like win 2 battles, no matter who you're fighting. You just have to win 2 battles, and then you level up, and it'll go to 3 battles, and then it'll go to 4 battles, and like basically it just keep on increasing. But you just have to win a certain amount of battles to level up these characters, and depending on when you capture that monster, you might capture them and you like one of them needs 3, but the other one needs 2 to level up. So yeah, the captures work like Pokemon. Also, you have blank ether, which is your Pokeball basically, and you have to have a blank ether to be able to capture them. But there's no like chance. There's no chance to it. So you have to stagger the enemy, and they have a weakness, kind of like Persona, where you exploit their weakness by attacking them with the element that they're weak to. And then if you stagger them, because you have to do enough damage to they basically have like a number, and your attack will do a certain amount of damage to that number, depending on the element. Once you get that to 0, they're staggered, and then you can capture them. But it's not like Pokemon where like, oh, you throw it and you hope that you capture them or not. No, you'll automatically capture them as long as you stagger them. But you still have to defeat the Pokemon afterwards. It's not like they just disappear after you capture them. You kind of make a clone of them. That's a better way of putting it. You clone them instead of like capturing that specific Pokemon that you're fighting, or monster. I don't know what to call them in this fucking game. But it's pretty good. Like, it's doing a lot of things different. If you're looking for, even if you're not a Pokemon fan, I feel like it's still a really cool turn-based RPG in and of itself. But if you do like the Pokemon kind of vibe of it, it's pretty good in that aspect as well. So Aethermancer is actually a pretty good one. I'm keeping my eye on it. But from the first 2 hours of it that I played, it was actually pretty good. I would recommend checking it out.
Okay.
And then, but I played more, but I'm only going to talk about the ones that I would recommend, because I played some that were just kind of ass. I'm not going to put y'all through that. So the second one is, I have to look it up because I honestly do not remember the name of this damn game. The 100 Line Last Defense Academy. Okay. I was definitely going to butcher that. And this is from Cryware. This is from the Danganronpa artists. And it's very easy to tell that because they just have a very distinct art style, and they do, like, just like Toriyama, they do not move away from that art style. Like, when you see it, you're just like, oh yeah, that's the Danganronpa guy, like 100%. You don't even have to second guess it or anything. It's just like, yeah, that's the Danganronpa guy. And this is another not Danganronpa that this is like ever since Danganronpa, I guess, ended, because we haven't got really any new ones in years, but we've been getting, like, from Rain Code. I forgot the name of that game. Something Rain Code. And then Tribe 9, the free-to-play game. And now this, which is a strategy RPG, like a tactical RPG, but very Danganronpa in its story and its art. So, as usual, end of the world, kids trapped in a building, and cute mascot character that comes out of nowhere and basically tells them that they're fucked and they have to do whatever he says or they all die. Except instead of putting them in the building and telling them to kill each other like Danganronpa, this one actually you have to work together as a team and you have to stop a threat that is incoming. So this is obviously there's a very eccentric cast of characters. I believe there's 12 kids that are tied to this academy. They're trapped in this academy that's surrounded by undying purple flames that they can't get through. And you have like your characters, they go through this persona like transformation where they stab themselves in the heart and then they transform into their uniform, and that's like how they battle. It's called like hemo anima or something. That's their power. If you like Danganronpa, like for the story and everything, you're gonna like this. But the gameplay is obviously a lot different. So with Danganronpa just being a visual novel with more investigation, mystery, this is all about the actual strategy RPG elements. And I don't know how I feel about it. I liked what I was playing, but I don't know how long I will like what I was playing because it's so different from strategy RPGs or tactical RPGs that I'm used to. Being a Fire Emblem fan, this was kind of weird in how they handled the strategy RPG, because instead of like going like moving your character and then doing one-on-one battles, it's more like it's kind of like a mix of tower defense and strategy RPG, because the enemies are trying to get to something behind your characters and they're trying to destroy it. You have to stop them from destroying it. But instead of like you move your character to another character to an enemy and then y'all go into a one-on-one battle, whoever's stronger wins, it's more like you're trying to take out as many enemies at the same time. So your all of your attacks will usually do some kind of AoE damage. And sometimes it'll be like 5. You'll take out a row of 5 enemies, or you'll take out a row of 3, or you'll do a square surrounding you. So you want to like get in. So it's kind of a puzzle. There's a little puzzle to it because you want to make sure like the characters go after they go into what makes sense for their attacks. So like if you see the characters are kind of in a U shape, like the enemies, you want to get the character who can attack everyone around them and use that one. If you see enemies are like lined up in a straight line, like, okay, we got to make sure that this guy takes him out, and that it's different. So it took me a while to get used to. Once I got used to it, I was like, okay. I started to enjoy it. I was already enjoying it for the story and the characters, but the gameplay was kind of throwing me off. But then I started to get used to it, and then I did the first boss, and that like he actually was kind of whooping my ass. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh shit, like this is actually kind of challenging. But being the Danganronpa like type of style, even in terms of story, got the first death of one of the characters, and brutal as usual. Oh, no pink blood though. They were not hiding the blood like they do in Danganronpa. Just straight up like she. So yeah, I'm showing it now. So this is literally at the beginning of the game. So they start at the beginning, but got the first death, and you're like, oh, okay. So obviously we're gonna be dying one by one. But I was like, but then if the characters are dying one by one, like, what does that mean for my units? But actually, they have basically the power that they use, the hemo anima. If the characters are basically they have a machine that can bring them back to life as long as they're using the hemo anima, and if they can get them back soon enough. So there's kind of a time limit to it. But basically your characters are able to be resurrected. So there is that. But yeah, Danganronpa fans, I feel like they automatically would like this game. There's still some mystery as to like who the enemy is, why are they trapped in this school, who is this mascot, like all of the stuff that you love about Danganronpa. The mystery is still there, but there's a little bit more substance to the gameplay versus collecting clues and everything. So if you kind of like the aesthetic of Danganronpa, but you just do not like the visual novel style, or you want a little bit something more in terms of gameplay, this might be up your alley. The 100-line Last Defense Academy, terrible title, but good game for sure. And oh wait, one more. This is a game by Bossa Games. Bossa, I don't know how to say their names. They've made a lot of different games, but I always knew them from Surgeon Simulator. Is that the game? But they started making less goofy games like over the years, and their newest game, Lost Skies, is a survival game that has a little bit of No Man's Sky without the spaceships, because you're landlocked for sure.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of the vibes of No Man's Skies with the monsters and the planets. And yeah, so you wake up on a planet, amnesia, blah blah blah, typical survival game story stuff. But you're on this like planet. There are these machines, and some form of civilization was here before, but everyone's gone, and you're basically obviously surviving, but you're trying to figure out what happened to these people, who are you. But story, obviously, like with a survival game, that's the thing I care about the least.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of great mechanics in this game that kind of remind me of Breath of the Wild. You can climb anything.
Yeah.
I love when they do that. There
Absolutely.
is a hand glider that you can jump off of cliffs and use the hand glider, and that is actually how you traverse through, because the planet is very disjointed. A lot of floating structures, a lot like these sky islands of Tears of the Kingdom. So you're using a glider to get in between each of these, and you're exploring the ruins. There's combat. There are guns. That's literally the first weapon that you get is a pistol, and it's a third-person shooter. But there's also some melee combat as well.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of survival games and you really don't have a survival game you're playing right now, I would recommend this. But it's not doing anything special compared to like other survival games. So, but it has a lot of great mechanics from other, like it has all the mechanics that I love in a survival game. So they're like, it's doing everything right. It's just not doing anything special,
Yeah. I got you.
So that's how I feel about this one. It was pretty fun though. So I'm not like I was invested in the loop of, because I love survival games. I always get I always get engrossed by the just progression of a survival game, starting with nothing. Like, oh, I just got a weapon. Oh, I found I can craft some clothes, and then I'm building my first base. Like I love just the progression of it, and I always get engrossed with it. So survival game fans, you'll like this. Would I recommend this to someone who's like, hey, what is the survival game that I should play as my first survival game? This is most likely not gonna be one that I recommend. But if you've already exhausted all of your other survival games, I think this is a good one to try out next.
Okay.
So that is Lost Skies. And yeah, that's everything that I've been playing.
Okay.
I guess I can talk about Fortnite a little bit, because Fortnite chapter 6 season 2 just dropped. Have you been able to play it at all, the new season?
I played like a couple matches, not enough to like really know what's going on, but in the couple matches that I played, I faced against the Sweats, so it didn't make me want to play more.
Yeah, Sweats always come out at the beginning of the season.
Yup.
So yeah, it's still good. It's not a bad season for sure, but I guess I don't know what it is about last season that I enjoyed more, or maybe because it just feels like more of the same.
Yeah.
Because it was like with the new season last time, we got new mechanics like the wall jump, the vaulting, the like wall running up the wall and then clambering. So there's a lot of cool new mechanics that made it fresh, but they kept all of those mechanics, which is good. Yeah. But as far as new mechanics, we haven't got any new mechanics. The main draw for this season is the heists. The whole thing is about like committing crimes. They have Crime City, which is the new like main point of interest, and it's all about like robbing banks, breaking into mansions and finding the safe. There's places that have a hidden vault and you have to do puzzles to open the vault. So it depends on where you go, but you have all of these different new kind of challenges that you can do to get better weapons, more loot. But robbing banks is kind of like the main one that's just marked and out in the open for everyone to see. And it was fun the first few times, but now it's kind of just like, I'm actually kind of sick of this now. Like I'm already hoping, like waiting for the next big thing that they implement, because I'm already getting tired of the heists. Guns, the new weapons. So the Typhoon Blade from last season, OP as fuck. Like I love that, but I loved it. Like when you had the Typhoon Blade, you felt like as long as they're like, I'm not going against somebody else with a Typhoon Blade, or I'm not going against multiple enemies in a one-on-one, I can basically take out almost anyone. Like if you're really good with a shotgun, you might be able to take me out, but most of the time with the Typhoon Blade, like you're fucked. If I'm running at you, it's over for you. So Typhoon Blade is obviously gone, because that was kind of tied to the theme of last season. But you have this new melee weapon, which is a bat called the Kneecapper. And it has some of the same elements of the Typhoon Blade. Like when you start running, you run faster. You can jump higher. So all of that is still intact. but it just does not hit like the Typhoon Blade. And
you have to like charge it up, right?
Yeah, and there's a charging mechanic to it as well. Whereas when you press LT with the Typhoon Blade, it was kind of like it does a little charge, a wind up, and then you knock them out. But this one, if you want to do real damage, you gotta actually charge it up, and then so it's like once you get used to it, it's still a good weapon, but Typhoon Blade just felt so much better. Not gonna lie.
Sure.
The laser, I hate it. I don't know what it's called, but there's a laser that you can use that's just a continuous beam. If you use it too much, it has to kind of like a plasma or signal beam in Halo. You have to lit. So I don't like that one. It doesn't do enough damage for me. None of the new weapons really hit for me besides the kneecapper. Like all of them, the collateral damage AR is not as good as the Hollow from last season. But yeah, it's still Fortnite. It's still fun. So we've been running it almost every night still.
Okay.
But
yeah, I was gonna say the thing that when I played it, the thing that it felt like to me, it kind of felt like Fortnite GTA.
Yeah.
In a sense. But yeah, that's all I had to say. My bad.
Yeah, it's funny because they it's all about crimes and stuff, but they obviously make it like PG. So it's like, like the wolf guy who's like the boss of this story, he's taken over the birds. And he's obviously doing something illegal, but he's been using money launder. Like he's been doing a lot of money laundering. And you go into Crime City, and there's literally laundromats with gold in them. Just like the gold is washing in the washers, like you're laundering money. So like I was like, it's funny. Like I like how they keep it PG, even though they're trying to get more gritty with it. So yeah, it's obviously they add things throughout the season, so it's not like this is everything that we're gonna see. I'm just hoping for some more though.
Sure.
And sorry, I forgot to mention another game that just popped up. Rabbit and Steel. This is a co-op roguelike action RPG bullet hell that me, Chuck, and Mars I shouldn't say have been playing, but we played it once. Well, we played it for like 3 hours, and this game is a lot of fun. It's very different from anything I've played before, but it's a boss rush that kind of mimics like doing raid bosses in an MMO.
Okay.
It's class based, but like aesthetically, you're playing with a bunch of cutesy rabbit girls. That'll basically like it hides how difficult and how intricate and tactical this game actually is.
Yeah.
There is so much depth to this game, and when you're looking at it without playing it, it's hard to gauge what the hell is even going on. But once you play it, this game is fantastic. It's an amazing game. It's overwhelmingly positive on Steam, and you can play it single player. Definitely do not recommend playing it single player though. This is something you have to play in co-op. 3 to 4 players is best for sure, but at least 2 players. So this is, like I said, a bullet hell. You're dodging attacks from these bosses who are just like raining, and it's not even like small, like it's not like you're dodging a bunch of small bullets, but the enemies are just throwing fucking Frieza death balls at you from all sides of the stages, and you have to dodge them. But also, every boss has their own intricate attack pattern, and not like in a way like, oh, you know, instead of the attacks coming from left to right, they're going up, down, and like no, like they have. When I say they have different attack patterns, I mean like they're like puzzles that you have to solve with each character or with each boss. So they'll have a boss who her attack is a knockback. It doesn't do any damage to you when she knocks you back, but she tries to knock you into these attacks that are in the corners of the stages. So you have to basically position. This game is all about positioning. It's all about positioning and building your character to do the most damage with your abilities. So it's all about positioning. So when she knocks you back, you have to position yourself that when she does knock you back, you don't fall into one of the like dead zones where you're gonna get hurt. So then you'll fight another boss who has you chained to her. You can't get too far away from her, but you can go 360 degrees around her, and she's moving into these attacks, trying to basically drag you into the attacks instead. And the attacks are like big and they're slow, but you just gotta position yourself so that you don't get hit even though you're chained to them. Then they'll have enemies who can basically lock you on an X or Y basis. So you can only move left or right, or you can only move up and down, but you have attacks that are coming at you. So depending on where you are, let's say you get trapped, you can only go left and right, but there's a big ass attack coming at you from the left side, and since you weren't in the right position, you're just gonna get hit by that now. And they all have these intricate move sets or their attack patterns that you have to kind of, with each fight, you have to learn what their pattern is and then adapt to it. But also, like, you're using all of the characters' classes, because every character that you pick is going to have a different class. And there's 5 to start with, but there are 7 more that are unlockable. So 12 in all. And they all have very different roles, which is why it's trying to mimic like an MMORPG with the roles. So I'll have I was a dancer. They're gonna, like, the dancer is all about buffing like our characters to do more damage. Tashawn had the druid, if I'm remembering. No, Tashawn had the wizard, and they're gonna do the most damage with their special attack. So like, he's all about building his cooldowns to lessen the cooldowns as much as possible, so he can do his special more often. And you have to kind of build your character around that. And then who was the wizard? One of them was a wizard, one of them was druid. Chuck, I forgot who was who. But then the druid, they're all about they basically can protect the, like, when there's an attack that we know that we're going to get hit by, he has a defensive ability that can protect us if he uses it at the right time. So everyone is using their abilities to kind of and you're trying to build, because every time you defeat a boss, you go to the store and then you get new random items that will basically buff your abilities. And like, you can build, like most roguelikes, you can build your character to be OP as fuck if you get the right build. But it's all about getting the right build once you're with the random items. So yeah, this game is one of a kind. Never played anything like it, and it works so well, blending and meshing all of these genres together. And I thought like I felt like Tashawn would definitely like it because me and Tashawn play a lot of different games. I wasn't expecting Chuck to get into it as much as he did. So like we all three of us were like, yeah, this shit was fun. We'll play this shit again. Although we really haven't had time to get together and play it again. But yeah, this game is pretty great, and we got it on sale for like $10. So this was on Steam, as far as I know, not on any other platform or platforms as of now. But if you have a PC, I would definitely recommend it if you have some friends to play with. So that is Rabbit and Still. Oh, there's also like matchmaking if you want to just pop in with randoms.
Okay.
So yeah, that is everything for sure this time. But yeah, with that, let's go ahead and get into no warm up today. So we will be going, or I guess that can be our warm up. Sure. Or on the radar, whatever. That was the on the radar. Although just a quick on the radar that for an upcoming game that I didn't play, but I'm very excited for because we just got a release date. INZOI, which is Krafton's take on The Sims, their life sim, but they, instead of like going in the more cartoonish route that The Sims takes, they're going for complete realism with their take, and it is a beautiful looking game. And not only is it beautiful, but it's very detailed and intricate, from the animations to the things that they have in the game. Like, there are a lot of things that you see in this game that you don't see in The Sims, and it's crazy because of how detailed and how realistic the game is, that they're able to pull off all of these things that even The Sims doesn't do. Which is to say, The Sims, like, even with all of the expansions that they've been adding into Sims 4, that just shows how, I'm not gonna say lazy, but I definitely want to say lazy when it comes to Maxis, because these motherfuckers will literally put out, like, the first 4 years of The Sims 4 is literally like, hey, all of the expansions and all the new content that we took out of Sims 3, because the Sims 4 launched in the most bare bones, basic ass state possible. We're first 4 years, we're adding all of that stuff back. All right, we've already added everything that was in the Sims 3, so now we can finally make new content. But then the new content is just slow, and they're piecemealing it. Like, the expansions are just like, there are some that are definitely more intricate than others, but for the most part, like, you might as well mod The Sims 4, because the modders are going to do everything quicker and better than Maxis. So if you're not modding Sims 4 and you're actually paying for every single expansion, I feel bad for you, honestly. But INZOI is looking to, and I watch, or like, ever since INZOI was announced, I've kind of kept up with Sims creators who have been like getting early access with INZOI, and they're eating Sims lunch right now, bro. Like, you know about Life by You, which I was super excited about, but then who was it? Paradox canceled it. Very sad about that. But INZOI and Paralives are the two big ones I always thought Paralyzed would have came out first because it was announced way before INZOI, but this is the one that's releasing first in early access March 20th. Is it March 20th again? I swear to God, if this game is March 20th, I'm about to be pissed. Hold on. I have to look this up now. Is it? Hold on. This game cannot release on March 20th. I will die.
Yeah, there's already 2 big games coming out that day.
March 28th, which is a week after, but still, I'll have a little bit of time with Xenoblade and fucking Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So, all right. Jesus Christ. That's.
I know, dude. It's like not stopping.
So yeah, I'm like I fuck like Life by You fucks me over, but this is. I really never thought this game would release. That's where I was, honestly. Like, this game is a little too good to be true. But content creators have been playing it, and they have been like, they've had over 50 hours with the game, and they've been giving positive reactions. Like, obviously this is dropping in early access, so there's gonna be a lot of missing things, but this will, instead of them doing expansions like The Sims, this will be a game that is constantly updated. Now, I have to see if there's microtransactions, but I'm pretty sure there will be of some kind. They're not, it's gonna be a monetized game for sure. And I'll have to see if that's better or worse than the expansion packs at the end of the day. So, but yeah, INZOI, I'm super excited about this and was not expecting it to be playing it so soon. But yeah, that's where, yeah, INZOI, that is my, that's my big one. Like, definitely a me game. All right.
Okay.
Now we can get into the topics for real this time. First on the agenda, where are we at? Oh yeah, let's talk about Elsewhere Entertainment, the newest studio opened by Activision and Xbox. And this was the narrative-driven single-player game that was being worked on by a new studio that opened up, new AAA studio, by the way, that opened up in Poland. And we actually got some details from, I'm gonna butcher this most likely, but Lucas Niziks, who is the senior expert network programmer, from his LinkedIn profile, where he actually gives a little bit of details of what he's working on, because he goes on to say, if you miss working with proprietary tech as much as I did, come and join our awesome team. And he also has a listing about the game where it says new IP, new engine, open world, narrative, multiplayer. So this will not be a single player only game, but will also have a multiplayer component as well. So yeah, what could it be? Like, or I shouldn't say what could it be, because it could be literally anything. But what do you want out of this game coming from Elsewhere Entertainment?
Well, I'm thinking it's gonna be some sort of shooter, to be honest.
Yeah, most games today are, so.
Yeah, yeah. As to what I want it to be, I just don't want it to be something similar to Call of Duty. Like, I want them to try something definitely, like something new, like maybe like a stealth game or like a tactical espionage type of game. That'd be kind of sick.
Ooh.
Or maybe like a super tactical type of game. That'd be cool too. Something along those lines.
So, open world, narrative driven, single player and multiplayer. It's giving me Division. Like when I
Okay.
put all of that together,
Yeah.
Division pops in my head. Third person cover shooter, narrative. Like if you're going for the narrative experience, you can experience it alone. But you want to play, I'm not, when they say multiplayer, I'm thinking co-op, not PvP. Maybe there'll be some element of PvP, but it definitely brings me back to 360 early Xbox One, where you could get those single player games. Like you can focus on that single player, say like a Last of Us, Uncharted. That if you want only the single player experience, it's there. But then you can go into the multiplayer, and when every game used to have the multiplayer, that's what is kind of bringing me back to. Like, yes, we wanted to make a single player game, but we have something once you're done with that story mode.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of where I want it to be. I want the single player and multiplayer to be separate.
Okay.
Because Division, you really can't separate the single player and multiplayer in it. Like you can't really experience it completely solo. Like you'll find another player eventually. But I think that kind of turns off single player people. And I feel like they need to get back to how it used to be, where you have the single player, you have the multiplayer, and you can really keep them separate, but have them release in one package. You know?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I want something more akin to like a Gears, where you can experience the single player or co-op. Hopefully, like the campaign. Like I want a campaign that you can experience in single player or co-op, with no like caveats or anything that kind of hinders it. If you do decide to, I thought I deleted all these. I guess not. If you do decide to play single player, it doesn't really ruin your experience. But if you play co-op, like you have the option of playing co-op, and it plays really well in co-op. But then they have PvP multiplayer modes as well if you want to do that. I feel like we don't have, like, besides the main franchises that have already been doing that since the 360 post like PS2 era, they're the only ones who can do that nowadays, it seems like. So I want something that gets back to that gives that vibe again.
Yeah. I agree. I miss it. I remember when even like random ass games like BioShock 2 had like multiplayer modes and stuff. Yeah.
One game that had a great multiplayer mode that never got talked about enough, and it had no business having such a good multiplayer. Bionic Commando remake. Do you even remember that game on the 360?
Is that the game with like the jetpacks, or is that the game with like the grappling hook?
Yeah, the grappling hook.
Okay. I think I kind of have okay, I think I kind of remember it, yeah.
Yeah, that multiplayer mode had no business being that good. Like using the grappling, bro, it was Titanfall before Titanfall, bro. Like,
Sure.
Well, no, grappling hook in Titanfall came in like 2.
Titanfall 2, yeah.
But yeah, bro, that grappling hook was insane. Like you would use that to get the drop on your, like you could grab people. Oh, it was so good, bro. Had no business being that good. It was amazing. And it was one of those games that had a demo, a multiplayer demo that you could play forever, but it was just like one map and you couldn't really progress as far as your character. But I used to play that demo all the fucking time. And there was always people playing it too. And like that and the Blur demo used to just play, like just keep playing those demos. Never bought the game, but that multiplayer mode was just so sick. I was like, bro, like I'm playing one stage, one character, like no power-ups or anything. It's just, but it was so fun. I was like, how did they do this? And no one's talking about it. That game flopped like hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need a remake of Bionic Commando and bring that multiplayer back because that shit was insane.
Okay.
But my next question, proprietary engine. How are you feeling about that? We're in a world where everyone is moving from proprietary engines to Unreal. So how do you a brand new proprietary engine in 2025? How you feeling about that?
Yeah, that's actually that's cool. I like it. I still, because this team is like an offshoot off of like Infinity Ward, right? Or is that something else?
I don't know how many, like I'd have to actually go through that because from all we know is that it's a new studio. We don't know who was like how many people were moved from other Activision studios. At least I haven't looked into it enough to know that or not.
Gotcha. Yeah. So just off of just previous knowledge, I would probably say that this is most likely whatever engine runs Call of Duty. It's probably just like it might be just like a modified version of that, which is okay with me because I think
I mean that engine's a modified version of ITech also.
ITech, yeah. But yeah, it's honestly new engine stuff is cool. Microsoft has a lot of engines in their like that they could use. You know, they got the ITech stuff. They got the stuff that they used for Indiana Jones, which is ITech, but they named it something different.
IW engine.
Yeah.
They have obviously Creation Engine. They have. Technically, they have Rate or not Rate. What is it called? The Arcane engine that they were using with Deathloop.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I forgot the name.
Which is going to be the same engine that powers Blade as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, no, it's cool. I like it. The more engines, the better, in my opinion. We all know, of course, they love their Unreal Engine over there, but you know, I like this. I like that a lot, actually. I like the different feelings that you get from each of the games. Like, you know, I'm playing Pirate Yakuza. The weight of the characters and stuff like that definitely feels different because it's a different engine. So yeah, I like it. I like the fact that they're using something proprietary for sure.
All right, and open world, yay or nay? How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I'm at this point it's more so like we should see how like they utilize the open world stuff, but yeah, I don't feel positive or negative towards that.
Yeah, I like open world games. I'm more for it than I am against it. I know there's a lot of stigma with open world games. We were like, tired of open world games, make linear games, 20 hours only, because I have a job and I don't want to not finish a game. Like, I'm not gonna get started. You know, this is a new me. You know, I'm a positive guy. You know, I've been listening to Kid Cudi. You feel me? I'm just vibing. You know, I'm gonna let it rock.
Hey, Kid Cudi wanted to kill himself, bro.
You know what I mean? You know, all right. One thing I will say about this motherfucker Kid Cudi, every album, you know, every album he has that song towards the end where he's like, you know, it's on the up and up. You know, I used to be on the edge of death, but now it's all good. Like I'm like everything is good in life. My life is amazing. And then next album, it's over for me. And then by the end of it, no, it's all good, guys. And then you get to like, or like you go from Man on the Moon 2 just straight depression. Like, yeah, he's not gonna survive the next 10 years. Then he goes to Wizard. I'm giving up drugs. No more drugs for me. I'm clean. I'm making rock music. I'm so happy. My life is amazing. Then he drops Indica. Drugs are back, and we dying again. And it's like, bro, and he keeps on, like, every album, he's like, at the end of it, everything's good, bro. You know, I'm happy. This is the happiest I've ever been in my life. And then the next album, this is the most depressed I've been in my life. I'm like, bro, for the people who actually are like struggling with depression and like who actually look up to his music, is like, all you telling them is that they're in a never-ending cycle. Because that's all I get. Like, that's the one thing I will say about Kid Cudi. Like, if for those fans who are actually like going through the same shit he is, all I see is that they're just getting told that they don't have to live with this for the rest of their life. Like, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be bad, good. You just gonna keep going through the cycle. You're never just gonna be fully, like, you're never gonna be happy forever.
Yo, pretty much.
So yeah, shout out to Kid Cudi though. All right. Anything else you want to say on the Elsewhere? Any hopes? Any? What do you think how long? Because I think this studio opened in 2023, like ended 2023, if I'm remembering correctly. Actually, it should say on the LinkedIn. Let me see. January 2024. So beginning of 2024. That's when, at least when he started. So, how long do you? When do you think this game's coming out?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this is a 2027 game.
2027, 3 years,
and we will see it. Well, no, technically 2027 is in 2 years, but
well, I mean, like from when they started. What I mean.
Wait, it started in 2023?
It says 2024 for him. Let me see when it actually started. Because then we can kind of gauge from there.
Sure.
They have talent from Naughty Dog. They have talent from CD Projekt Red. All right, so Elsewhere Entertainment. I'm going to their LinkedIn. See when it was founded. If they have that on there. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Seeing.
Because I'm assuming the Activision acquisition went through in 23, right?
Yes, it finished it finished technically in 2024. 20 months. Okay. It started 2022 in January and finished in 2024.
Okay.
Right?
Maybe 2027 is a little too early for that. I'll say whatever this game is, we might see it as soon as next year. We might just see it, like, get to lay our eyes on it. But
gameplay or CG?
I'll say gameplay. They'll probably show it off with CG and then mix in some gameplay there with it, but you know, I'll say we'll see the game in like the next year or two, and it'll drop in the next like 3 years. I'll say that.
Okay. It was January 2024.
Okay.
January 2024. All right. So let's see. So January 2024. I'm gonna say 2028 is when we'll see this, or not when we'll see it, but when it releases.
Gotcha.
And I think we'll see it. The first time we'll see it will be the first showcase at the start of the new generation for Xbox. That's it'll be the first showcase once we get the new generation, whether that's 2026 or 2027. That'll be when we see the game for the first time. I don't know if you're too far from the camera, but you keep fading into your background.
It's probably because my fucking it's like super dark in here. I'm trying to do some things.
But yeah. I'm going with 2028, 4 years. And
okay,
I'm only saying 4 years because I think this is gonna be one of the bigger AI heavy games to come out of Xbox and Activision.
Okay.
So we'll know. I'm pretty sure Microsoft will definitely be more open about what games are using AI and which ones aren't. And I think this is definitely, just because of how early on it is, I think this is going to be one of those AI driven games.
Gotcha.
All right, last words before we move
on. We'll see you soon. Hopefully.
All right, let's talk Pokemon, because Pokemon Day did come and go. It literally happened the day after or I guess the day of the podcast, but since we record the day before, we missed the conversation around it. But as we thought, we got Pokemon Legends ZA gameplay, ZA, but also we got a new Pokemon, or sorry, not Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Champions, which is kind of a spiritual successor to Pokemon Stadium in a way. But yeah, how did you feel about the Pokemon gameplay, the Pokemon Legends gameplay, first and foremost?
This one actually surprised me. I thought it was gonna be kind of more of the same with Legends Arceus, but it looks like they actually they're building upon what they did in that game, and it's not just like a collectathon anymore. It looks like it's a little bit more intricate. I like it. I like what I see. That obviously, you know, the graphics are what they are. There's not much we can do about that. But and there's not much the Switch can even do about that. But yeah, I liked what I seen. They definitely added a little bit of Xenoblade in there. You know, I've seen a lot of people talking about that on the Twitter streets. They're definitely 50-50 on it for sure. Like they are with everything, but I liked it though. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I like that there's still like that real-time element in the combat. It's not just like how the OG Pokemon games are, like turn-based. But yeah, I'm high on it though. I thought it looked like a lot of fun.
Yep. Graphics are what they are, and people are going to complain about that. Mostly people who never really cared in the first place. Usually how it is. Or at least they're not like they don't, their reasons for not playing Pokemon are not gameplay related, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyone, like, I have issues with Pokemon outside of the graphics, and it's usually because the gameplay has just been stagnant for years and they haven't been doing much. Like the graphics is more of a cherry on top of, like, for Sword and Shield and for Scarlet and Violet, is because of the stagnant gameplay. That's what I really had a bigger issue with. But Arceus was the evolution that was needed for Pokemon. Absolutely. But it was a tech demo in a way. It definitely was not a fully realized game, but even that tech demo was still more fun and better than the fully fledged out mainline games that we got on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 100% okay with Legends Arceus. I enjoyed Legends Arceus a lot.
Yeah.
So this has been my most anticipated Pokemon game. Really the only Pokemon game that I was anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet and Violet, they got my ass. They tricked me into buying it because of the co-op. That was literally the only thing that made like the play it. You can play it through with your friends, and then you realize that the co-op in that game was pure bullshit. And it was like, yeah, you can see your friends, can't interact with them, can't battle with them. They're just there, but they're there. Like, oh, that shit pissed me off. So I bought Scarlet and Violet because I was tricked into thinking that they were actually gonna do full co-op, something like how Power World handled co-op. That was real co-op. But yeah, they fucked me, bruh. I was pissed. And then I talked. Don't tell Spitter this, because I won't admit it to his face, but I definitely talked Spitter into getting the game so we could play co-op. And then I abandoned him as soon as I abandoned him and never touched the game again. And he kept on like, "Will we play Scarlet and Violet, bro?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even have that game." But don't tell him that. So yeah, I abandoned that game with the quickness. Like, I played an hour of that game, and I was like, that shit's just been collecting dust since. So yeah, this is the Pokemon I want. This is the Pokemon I needed, and I thought that they were just gonna basically just flesh out the formula that they already had, but they were like, nah, we passed that. When it comes to Legends, this is where we try out our new ideas and that battle system. I was like, oh, we doing it? Xenoblade, Pokemon, oh my god, they did it. So yeah, real time battles, not turn-based, ATB gauges. It's time. Now it really just feels like you're playing the anime. Like, the battles that you see in the anime, this is how you'll be playing the game. It has that exact feel of, like, because it's always been like, man, if only I could experience like how the anime is, but like in a game. Because obviously the anime versus the game's totally different every time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm so excited just for that new battle system alone. And X and, like, a lot of people, I understand the criticisms of X and Y, but X and Y had sauce. I fucking loved X and Y. The mega evolutions, I really didn't care about the what is Y's legendary, but X is legendary. I loved the Lumio City was probably one of the best maps, like best big city locations. I loved it. So going back to this era, hyped. Mega evolutions are back, and there's gonna be new mega evolutions. Hyped. I'm hyped for this, like 100%. It's a day one. And graphics, it is what it is, but at least it'll be stable on my Switch too. Like, at least that's the only thing I can say. The performance is gonna be stable on the Switch too, even if the graphics still look like not as good as it could.
Sure.
But yeah, but that wasn't the only announcement that we got from Pokemon Day, because there was a second game announced, Pokemon Champions. And honestly, when that trailer came on, I thought that it was the the collection that was being rumored, the generation 1 through 3 collection, because you see them playing the Game Boy and they're connected to you. I was like, oh my god, they're actually doing it. They're actually gonna do that collection. It was real. I was like, oh shit. fucking Reset Era was right for once. But then once it showed Stadium, I was like, well, I guess Stadium is Gen 1 through 3. Can they add that to the collection as well? That'd be crazy. Then I saw the Wii or the GameCube or something. I was like, oh, it's over. So they go through all the generations of battles, and then they show the newest Pokemon, and then it finally shows the new game, Pokemon Champions, on mobile, but also on Switch as well. And it did say not actual gameplay footage, but if the game looks like that, I like the art style. It looks, and since they're only focusing on the battles, I'm pretty sure the graphics are going to be a lot better than Legends or Scarlet and Violet, since it's literally just the battles.
Yeah.
But how did you feel about this one? Did this one interest you in any way?
Nah, not really. I mean, it's cool that the fact that it seems to be both on Switch and mobile, so you like could take it wherever you go. And they did show that like graphic where it's like you can deposit and withdraw Pokemon from the game and then put it into the home thingy, and then that you could use those inside of this game.
Yep.
So it's
Pokemon
cool.
Home.
Yep, it's cool the fact that you can do all that, but I'm just not much of like a mobile game player, so it's probably not going to be something that I play. But it's cool if you're really attached to your Pokemon that you collect, like having being able to use them in these different games is cool. I like the idea, but probably not for me though.
Yeah, I love Pokemon Stadium. But the reason I love Pokemon Stadium is because it was the first time we were able to get our Pokemon from like black and white Game Boy Pokemon fully realized in 3D and in color. Yeah. On the N64. But obviously you lose the whole RPG aspect of Pokemon, and you're only doing battles, which was cool at the time. But the RPG part of it is more important to me than the battles themselves, honestly. So Stadium had its time, and like now that we have fully 3D Pokemon games with the RPG elements, what do you really gain from just having, and you can do competitive battles online in those games? So like Stadium really, like, it was obsolete. I don't understand the point of Champions.
Yeah.
Like, are there really that many Pokemon fans who only want to battle and don't want to do any of the RPG elements? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. The a lot of the fun comes from, going out and getting the Pokemon and all that stuff and training them and stuff like that. So I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah. But maybe I'm not the right Pokemon fan for that. Like, maybe there is a faction of Pokemon players who only do competitive and they really don't care about the RPG part of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Definitely not for me though. That's for sure. But then the rest of Pokemon Day was just a bunch of updates. They announced like Pokemon Concierge Season 2. They dropped that Dragonite short that actually got some pretty good reviews. A lot of fans liked it. But yeah, that's as far as new games, non-mobile only games, and updates to existing games. That was basically it for that. But yeah, Pokemon Legends alone, that's all I was there for, and I think it showed really well for me. And so I thought it was a great Pokemon event, at least for me. Yeah, anything else you want to add before we move on?
Yeah, still waiting for those OG Pokemon games. I would love an official way to play them on the Switch. Yeah, no, this is cool stuff. I really liked Legends. I thought it looked fun. I'm excited for it, and it's on my fantasy, so you know we gotta root for it.
Oh, actually, I'm not excited for that game anymore. I'm actually hoping that it's the worst Pokemon game that we've ever had. 660s across the board. 60s. No, I'm just playing.
This guy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Shout out to Split Fiction though, because that 90, I know it's looking nice on your on your list.
Yup.
All right, let's move on to Capcom, because they have announced that Monster Hunter Wilds has sold 8 million units in 3 days. This is Capcom's largest launch to date. In comparison, Monster Hunter Worlds sold 6 million units in 2 weeks. So Monster Hunter Wilds is a massive success. Hit over 1.3 million concurrent players on Steam, even with the issues that it was facing across the board. But yeah, man, congrats to Capcom. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, this just shows that you don't need to put out a polished game. You don't need to put out a game that's fucking that runs stable and all that. As long as you got some built-in cachet, as long as you got hardcore fans for something, you'll have an audience day one. But yeah, this isn't surprising to me. I already knew Monster Hunter was gonna pop off. It's just it's a pillar. It's one of Capcom's pillars. It's something that they bank on hitting every time that it drops. I remember back in the PSP days, the 3DS days, people would buy those systems for the Monster Hunter games that came out on it. So it's always been a huge thing. So
yeah,
not surprised by it.
I'll say it used to only be huge in Japan, but now this is a worldwide franchise. Ever since Worlds came out, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Anything else you wanted to say?
Nah, I was gonna say, it actually, what's it called? It bolstered some handhelds, like it bolstered the 3DS. It also failed some handhelds by not being there, aka like the Vita. So
Monster Hunter alone did that.
Yeah, Monster Hunter alone. Even though PlayStation dudes will tell you that.
I'm not gonna say it was Monster Hunter alone, but it was a lot more reasons than that. But Monster Hunter was the nail in the coffin for sure.
Absolutely, but yeah, this is huge. Definitely fix that PC performance, so please, Capcom, if you could.
All right, you remember how I was just talking about Kid Cudi and how he like happy. All right, we back to all that shit I was just saying about being a changeman. It's a wrap, because I'm about to kill these men. So first and foremost, congrats to Capcom. Love to see. I love Capcom. I want them to win. Yeah. And I like to see it. But I gotta come for your fans first and foremost, because these motherfuckers are the same ones who are dogging Pokemon. These motherfuckers, they're the same ones who are dogging Pokemon because of what? Graphics, bad performance, and they get mad at Pokemon fans for just taking it and buying the game. Why would y'all buy something? Y'all just feeding them and support. Y'all just make it. You're just feeding You're feeding them and giving them the idea that they can put out whatever they want, and you'll buy it. That's all you're doing. Pokemon Yes, I made this realization before Monster Hunter even came out.
Yeah.
Pokemon and Monster Hunter are the same, but only one of them gets flack for it. And what I mean, and it's something because I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of Monster Hunter. Been there since Monster Hunter 4, and then I went back to Monster Hunter 3 Try on the Wii U. But I've played Monster Hunter 3 Try, 4 Ultimate, Generations Ultimate, Monster Hunter Worlds, Monster Hunter Rise. Like every single one, bro. Like I'm a fan of Monster Hunter, or at least.
Yeah.
But just like I'm a fan of Pokemon, but when Pokemon started to become stagnant, I stopped. I stopped for a while. Like I can't even say I stopped because I kept buying them, thinking that it was going to change. That was my issue. I bought them thinking it was going to change. It didn't change.
Yeah.
I kept believing the hype. Like, but this one's going to have open zones. It's going to be crazy. She was asked. This was going to be open world this time. It's going to be crazy. It was asked. So now let's look at Monster Hunter. From the time I played Monster Hunter 4 to the time I played Monster Hunter Rise, the experience has been basically the exact same shit. From Monster Hunter 4, really Monster Hunter Try, I'll give Monster Hunter 4, they added some things that has been a core pillar since, so I'll say Monster Hunter 4. But Monster Hunter and Pokemon are the exact same when it comes to quote unquote their laziness. Yeah, I'm about to go there. Pokemon has been dogged on because they won't change their formula enough outside of the Legends games. But the Monster Hunter formula has not changed. Just like, at least Legends is kind of their way of experimenting and making something different. But Monster Hunter doesn't even have that. They don't even have a franchise, like their own little spin-off series that they can kind of experiment with. I'm not gonna talk stories. Is not like that's a completely different game, honestly. That's like saying like Mystery Dungeon. There's like their Mystery Dungeon, but it's not close enough to the main series though. Like Legends is the main team making the games. Like that's the main team at Game Freak. They're just trying new things.
Yeah.
So that's why I say they don't have anything like Legends.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. How many like weapons? We've been using the same damn weapons with the same damn moveset for the longest. Okay, how many new weapons have we really gotten from Monster Hunter 4 till now? I bet we've have more reused weapons than we have new weapons. Going from then. I feel like there is literally like they're trying to make it it feels more like a fighting game in the sense that when you play Street Fighter 2 with Ryu, the Ryu in Street Fighter 2, Third Strike, Street Fighter 4, 5, 6, Marvel vs. Capcom, it's the same Ryu. That, like, obviously there's some mechanics in the games that kind of change how you play with Ryu, but the experience with Ryu is the exact same every single time. Once you play Street Fighter 2 Ryu, you know how to play Street Fighter 6 Ryu. That's just how it is. That's Monster Hunter. Like the weapons have they might add a little change up here and there with the weapons, but for the most part, it's the same experience. Then, like literally, the game's even evolved exactly like Pokemon, which is crazy. You start off, every Monster Hunter was the same. You're going through these segmented areas, and then people are like, man, I'm tired of going through loading zones while I'm chasing these monsters. We need it to be more of an open world. Where like, Worlds comes out. It's not fully open world, but it's open zone, and you can chase the monsters without having to go through loading screens. Like, okay, that's Sword and Shield. But look, they Worlds kind of cut some features also when going into World, just like Sword and Shield. They cut the whole cutting the Pokédex, not having all the Pokemon in Sword and Shield. That shit sent people. That was a sin. They cut features from Worlds. But look at it, graphics though. What was the performance like though? Terrible. Don't forget that shit was running 20 frames per second on the Xbox One and PS4. And you literally had to have a PS4 Pro to even get a semblance of a good experience.
Yeah.
But who cared about that though? Because I ain't hear nobody complaining when it came out. Just saying. All right. But Sword and Shield, Monster Hunter Worlds, same game. Literally, like open zones, cut features, cut Pokemon, but it was sold like hotcakes. It was the best selling Monster Hunter. It was the cool thing, right? Everyone loves Monster Hunter Worlds, but everyone hates Sword and Shield. Outside of the people who actually bought Pokemon Sword and Shield and are playing it, the Pokemon fans are a quiet bunch for sure. Like, because if you listen to the Pokemon fans online, you would think that ever since the Switch came out, these motherfuckers have been selling triple aluminum every time they come out. So then, Monster Hunter Rise is kind of the same. They made it a little bit more open, but it's still segmented at the end of the day. It's not the full open world.
Yeah.
All right. Scarlet and Violet. Oh, the first fully open world Pokemon. No zones, no loading. It's open. You can go anywhere you want, whenever you want. It's free for you to go. Do things in any order that you want. Like, oh shit, they did it. But then you play it, and it's the same shit still. Mm-hmm. And this isn't enough. They didn't do anything. They just made an open world, and they thought that was enough. But look at the graphics. Look at the performance. We hate this. We hate this, guys. Game Freak, what are you doing? Monster Hunter Wilds comes out. It's fully open world, guys. This is what y'all been waiting for. It's here. Oh, it's here. They did performance abysmal. The texture's not even loading properly. But what do I hear from the fans? This is the greatest thing I've ever played in my life. Oh my, the gamers are like, yeah, this is amazing. This is the best Monster Hunter ever been. But it's the same game. Nothing has changed. So what's going on? Where is this hypocrisy coming from? Because the game is selling like hotcakes, which is fun because Pokemon, like, they sold 8 million in 3 days. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold 10 million in 3 days and was the fastest selling Pokemon game. But the way people talk about Scarlet and Violet, you would think that game sold nothing. Like, nobody bought it. Everyone hates it. Nobody's on it right now. It's just the worst Pokemon game ever made. Monster Hunter Wilds launches. Performance terrible. Graphically not, like, honestly, even when it works, the graphics really aren't crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it made sense that Rise didn't look crazy because it was initially a Switch game.
Yeah.
But it was one of the best looking Switch games out there. Monster Hunter Wilds is not one of the best looking games on any console or PC.
Mm-mm.
And it runs like ass as well.
Yeah.
But how many Monster Hunter fans, like, you see people leaving bad reviews on Steam, 50%, but then you look at the hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours in the first week.
Yeah.
They don't preach what they talk about. Everything Pokemon did, bad. Monster Hunter does the same exact thing. It's okay. And I love Capcom just as much. Like, I think everyone loves Capcom. Capcom, ever since like post 360, they have given us like no reasons to hate them, honestly. Like they've been doing good for everybody. But come on. Y'all need to look at the hypocrisy here, because it's crazy. And I feel like I'm the only one, because I'm getting my ass whooped out here in these Twitter streets and Discords everywhere. I'm like, this is the same shit. They did the exact same shit, and they're getting love for this. They're the beloved. They're the chosen one. But Pokemon is getting dogged, like they're getting walked. Every time someone bring up Pokemon, it's a fight. Like, the fuck you say? You like what? What do you mean you like Legends Arceus? I can't believe you even said that shit.
Yeah.
And then don't even get me started on Digimon, bro. Like, don't get me fucking started on Digimon. So yeah. That's my rant. I'm tired of this fucking hypocrisy with Monster Hunter, which most of these motherfuckers first Monster Hunter was Worlds.
Yeah.
And they haven't even played, most of them didn't even play Rise. Because if you look at Rise's numbers and you look at like the Worlds numbers, like it's not the same. Most of these motherfuckers haven't played, like they played Worlds and that was it. But you would think these motherfuckers been here since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, bro. Like, Monster Hunter fans, they kind of irking me right now. Like, I had to get this off of my chest, bro, because I'm not fucking with these new age Monster Hunter dudes who capping for this game when they like will literally talk shit about Pokemon at every chance that they get, and are literally getting fed the same spiel as Pokemon fans have been getting. So yeah, that's literally all I wanted to say. Like, congrats to Capcom, but you Monster Hunter dudes, we know about you. You are Pokemon fans. Just like, once you admit it, you will feel better. I will feel better. You are you're Pokemon fans. You're the same dudes that y'all make fun of. Y'all just don't want to admit it. So yeah, that's where we at.
Sure.
All right. Anything else you wanted to add, or we good on this topic?
All I wanted to add is,
or I was gonna say, maybe, or you might not even agree with me. Like, do you
no,
agree?
No. I do actually agree with you. It's funny because I was actually looking through the Steam reviews for Wild, and I'm like, bruh, these motherfuckers are dogging on the game, but it's like all these people are like sinking like 10s and 20s and like 30 hours into the game. I'm like, damn. But yeah, it is. I will say, just talking about the performance, yeah, it's unacceptable. Capcom should know, like they should have known to not make the game open world, just because that's not RE Engine's strong suit. And like the fact that like people, and I'm gonna put this in quotes, but PC is their like is the lead platform for them now. Just based off of that, like the game should just be in a much better state than it is. Monster Hunter is their biggest game, really. But yeah, like I said, it's unacceptable. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're on a super high-end rig or a low-end rig, you're going to see some sort of performance issues. So yeah, just that is just absolutely unacceptable. It's really the main reason why I haven't dove more into the game, because I'm like I got fucking DLSS on and I got frame gen on, and I'm only hitting like 80 frames. I'm like, this isn't acceptable.
Here's my thing though. I'm not even gonna hate on people who want to play the game through the performance issues.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that they will criticize Pokemon fans for enjoying their games with the performance issues. That's literally, they will literally sit there and criticize you if you say, yeah, I mean, like, I enjoyed Pokemon Scarlet and Violet even with the way that it looked and the way that it performed, because they did this and this, and I love that about it.
Yeah.
I've never hit, like, if I don't care how a game performs, if the game is that good, honestly, it don't matter. Like, obviously, like competitive games, probably, it's hard to play a competitive game with performance issues. But for something like this, like, bro, let people enjoy what they enjoy. But you can't even say you enjoyed Scarlet and Violet without getting dog walked on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even enjoy Scarlet. Like, I just told you I played an hour of it and I dropped that shit like a bad habit. But I'm not gonna sit here and, like, I'm not gonna attack anyone who enjoyed Scarlet and Violet through the performance issues. I'm like, yeah, bro, more power to you, bro. But
absolutely,
these elitist fucks who are the same people who are like, oh, if a Avowed isn't 60 FPS stable, if it don't got a performance mode, I'm not playing it. They're the same people who are over here, like, who are playing through all of the issues that Monster Hunter is having, and they're enjoying every second of it. Like, this is the type of shit that I hate, the hypocrisy of it all.
Hey, you can't even attack the NPCs in Monster Hunter. No one says that though. No.
Oh, bro, you're not gonna see a single. You ain't gonna see a single thing. Oh, it's not the same type of game, bitch. Avowed wasn't the same type of game. Like, I can't, bro.
I know,
Lord Metroid. I'm calling you out on, like, Lord Metroid. You my boy, but you gotta catch some strays also, because this guy here talking about sales, not talking about how he won't even talk about how the game ain't performing, how it's supposed to be performing, but he won't bring up the sales of the game. He a Metroid fan talking about sales. That's the hypocrisy in and of itself.
Yeah.
But shout out to Lord Metroid. That's my boy.
Sure.
But yeah, I've beaten this to death. So anything you want to add before we move to the next topic?
Nah. Definitely Capcom, get it together. For sure with the performance. I'm sure there's an amazing game in there, but until they figure that shit out, I'm not touching it. But I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick, bro.
Go ahead. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Just a quick one. Just wanted to give a heads up because FragPunk is getting delayed on consoles. So let me read what they put up today on Twitter. Dear Lancers, first and foremost, we want to express our heartfelt gratitude for your patience and unwavering support of FragPunk. Since the announcement of the game, your excitement has been truly inspiring, and we know how much you've been looking forward to launching into battle on both Xbox and PlayStation. However, we want to be fully transparent with you. During the console compliance testing process, we encountered unexpected technical challenges in optimization and adaptation. Rather than rushing the console release and providing a potentially poor user experience, we have made the difficult decision to delay the launch of the console version to ensure that players receive a comparable experience to those on PC. We understand that delays are frustrating, and we sincerely apologize for the wait. As a gesture of appreciation, we have prepared compensation for both Xbox and PlayStation players, especially those who supported us through pre-orders. Compensation for console players on both Xbox and PlayStation. For all console players, we will provide all rewards gained via engagement beginning from the start of Season 1 until the console version goes live, including in-game currencies, cosmetics, experience, and more. More detailed information will be shared in future announcements. For pre-order players, in accordance with platform policies, pre-orders on Xbox and PlayStation will be canceled, and the respective platforms will automatically initiate the refund process. We will also provide in-game currency worth $10 to these players when the console versions officially launch. Meanwhile, don't worry about missing out on the pre-order bonuses. While we aren't planning on issuing a new pre-order before launch, the bundle will be available in a time-limited way after the console versions are released. Our commitment. This delay was not an easy decision, but we are committed to delivering the best possible experience for our players, and this additional time will allow us to fully optimize and polish the console versions for launch. We know this isn't the news you were hoping for, and we deeply appreciate your patience, understanding, and continued excitement for the game. Our team is working closely with both Xbox and PlayStation teams to get FragPunk into your hands as soon as possible, and we will keep you updated every step of the way. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. We can't wait to welcome you to the battlefield soon. The FragPunk team. So yeah, delayed on both Xbox and PlayStation, which is wild because the beta ran pretty good on Xbox.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that.
Like it ran
flawlessly almost.
Like literally, this was probably one of the most stable betas that I've ever played for a new multiplayer game. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm was gonna primarily play on PC regardless.
Yeah.
But it is sad to see the Xbox release specifically, since it was shown off first at an Xbox showcase. If I'm remembering correctly, that was the first time we saw it.
Yeah.
So yeah, how you feeling about the delay?
Yeah, this one came like out of left field. Super strange because
2 days from launch too.
Yeah, like this should have been something that they should have announced way long ago if this was the case. Because as you mentioned, the game ran great on the console. Like I did the beta test for on PC, and I did it on the console, and I even tried it on the Steam Deck, if I remember correctly, and it literally like I didn't notice any issues on console. Like it ran at 120. It ran at like the full frame rate. Didn't notice no stutters. Didn't notice nothing. The controls were great too. So it's like, yeah, this one's strange. This one's strange. I don't know why it really needed the delay, but hey, it is what it is. I was gonna be there regardless. Definitely gonna be on PC now, but yeah, it's super strange actually. Very strange.
All right, conspiracy theory time. What if the game was ready, as ready as we felt it was, on the platform that was already beta tested, but there was a platform that has not been played. We have not seen any footage running on a certain platform, the biggest console platform of this generation so far. And what if they were like, well, we got it running on the Xbox. It's smooth, it's great. But PlayStation, it's an unstable box, and it's just being unstable. It's not working out. Should we just delay the PlayStation version and then Xbox and PC? Like, no. Then the PlayStation fans, they'll never buy our games after that. The PlayStation fans are gonna riot. You know, they're gonna boycott our game, and we can't lose that audience. Like, I guess we just have to delay both console versions. Like, that's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Probably actually they're probably like, oh, it's not really ready yet for PlayStation. Let's just delay the console version. Yeah, I could probably see that for sure.
Nah, I don't think they would actually do that, but
I think they might. Honestly, there's always a possibility.
oh yeah, for sure, always a possibility. Now, if that was the case, I would. I don't know. It is what it is, though. I'm not gonna make too much of a fuss, but yeah, it's definitely strange for sure.
Yeah.
But I will still be there, March 6th on my PC. Hopefully, they still do the Windows Store version, because I want to play on the Xbox app. But yeah. Anything you want to say? Anything? Or I do. Okay, I will just mention, like, the fact that, because I did pre-order the $10 thing that they had for pre-order on Xbox, and we'll be getting a refund, and everyone will get the bonuses. So kudos to them for that. Everyone's gonna get the bonuses, and everyone's gonna get all of the, like, season 1 currency, cosmetics, and, like, for this to be delayed, they definitely did everything right in terms of reimbursing the players, which a lot of companies would not do. So shout out to them for at least trying to do good by making up for the loss.
Absolutely.
But yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Regardless of the console delay, I'm still looking forward to this one. This one's I've been excited ever since last July. We've had a chance to play it many times. Very fun game, very fun little tactical shooter with like a twist. Very cool idea. I think this one has a chance to do well.
Yes, and this is one of the few betas that every time the beta every time I had a chance to play the beta, I was there. I played it like more than 10 hours every single time. It wasn't like 1 or 2 matches. It was like, oh yeah, I'm back addicted to this game. Like it plays so good. Yeah. And the cards just make it such a unique experience. Yeah, there's nothing like it, honestly.
Cards, the 1v1s that happen.
Yes,
with
that
the
duel mechanic is so good, bro.
Yup.
I can't wait for this.
Yeah, it's gonna be so many moments. I feel this, if the streamers catch on to this game, I think it might pop off for sure.
But yeah, that is FragPunk. Sad for console players, but hopefully the delay isn't too long.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk Sega, because we just got the 15th annual game publisher rankings from Metacritic, and we have a big list of the top game publishers according to Metacritic based on the Metascores average for all of their games released. And I'm just gonna go over the top 10. So starting at number 10, Annapurna Interactive. Despite another top 10 finish, 2024 was a bumpy year for the indie game label Annapurna Interactive. Saw its entire staff resign en masse in September following a multifaceted dispute with ownership. Still, Annapurna's 2024 game slate, led by puzzler Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, mostly pleased reviewers. So they have an average Metascore of 79.2. Microsoft at number 9 with a 79.4. The figures above include games published by all of Microsoft Gaming's growing list of subsidiaries, including Bethesda Softworks, Activision, and Blizzard, in addition to Xbox Game Studios. It was Microsoft proper that was responsible for the company's highest scoring 2024 release, a new Switch port of the one-time Xbox exclusive RPG adventures Pentiment. Bethesda saw great success with its Indiana Jones game, while the highest scoring 2024 titles from Activision and Blizzard were Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and World of Warcraft The War Within, respectively. Microsoft's overall lowest scoring title of 2024 belonged to Bethesda. It was the expansion Starfield Shattered Space.
Damn.
Honestly, Xbox will be in a way different position on this list if it wasn't for Shattered Space, because that was a 62-59 on those scores. Shattered Space literally fucked their score like single-handedly.
A fucking DLC.
Yeah. So, we can blame Starfield for another year. But leaving that off, they did not have any.
That keeps on giving.
they didn't have a single bad, really, as far as their ratings. Even though but they had the okay score with Starfield Shattered Space. So yeah, that held them back for sure. But they had an overall good 2024. Even with how many they had 26 products, 14 titles. So with 14 titles released, they still were able to keep their score in the high 70s. So yeah, they did pretty good.
Sure.
Although these scores kind of are weird because we have Annapurna with a 79.2, Microsoft with a 79.4. Then Raw Fury has a 78.5, but they're number 8. I guess they kind of tally the scores differently because they have this point system.
Yeah, I see.
So I don't know, but let me actually just put it on the screen.
Yeah, I see what the fuck's. That doesn't make any sense. But they only beat Microsoft by 0.1, so I don't know how they got that 301 score.
They probably have a system of how they tally up all the points.
Sure.
They probably explained it at the beginning. I just didn't read it, so.
Okay. No worries.
Raw Fury, a Swedish publisher, landed in our top 10 for the second year straight. Once again, in spite of topping out at a 83 for its highest scored release. Unlike the prior year, Raw Fury didn't have a perfect record in 2024. One title, Star Trucker, received less than positive reviews. And then there's a tie at number 6, Square Enix, with a 78.5, which is also lower than Microsoft's, but okay. Maybe they have. No, never mind. I'm not even gonna try to guess. So yeah.
Bro, Square Enix put out Foam Stars last year. Bruh. Nah, I don't know what this is, but however they calculate this shit, it don't make sense, bruh.
So yeah, improvements ranked for the second straight year. Square Enix didn't actually see much of a change in its average Metascore, but the Japanese giant avoided releasing any truly bad games in 2024, and even managed to release a great one, action RPG sequel / remake Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, one of the past year's most acclaimed games. So yeah, Gamera Games who I wasn't expecting. They have an average 80.2. This is the first one that's actually above Xbox's score. Global indie publisher Gamera is credited as a co-publisher of a number of PC games released in the US, most notable of the roguelike Shogun Showdown and the open world puzzle adventure Isles of Sea and Sky. They had 6 titles. Focus Entertainment with a 79.1, which is lower than Xbox's average again. 5 titles. French publisher Focus Entertainment received less than positive reviews for just one of its 11 scored products last year. Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun, Forges of Corruption. Otherwise, it was nothing but green metascores for products like Banishers, Expeditions. Sony at number 4, 80.9. That's definitely higher. Sony led all publishers with 4 separate titles scoring 90 or higher. That group includes not just Metacritic Game of the Year, Astrobot, but also Destiny 2 The Final Shape, published by subsidiary Bungie, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and a PC port of God of War Ragnarok. That bounty helped Sony jump 9 spots in our rankings compared to the previous year when it dropped 12 spots. Still, Sony experienced a few disappointments in 2024, most notoriously Concord, which was met by middling at best reviews and such dismal sales figures that Sony shut down the game and offered refunds just 2 weeks after launch. Then we have Axis Games with a 78.8, lower than Xbox again, just saying. Second straight top 10 finish for the California publisher and localization specialist was enabled in part by the company's 100% success rate. All 5 of its 2024 products received positive reviews from critics. Or average Metascore. Is this their average as a total or just for the year? That's what I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Capcom, 82.1 average Metascore. Best 2024 game was Dragon's Dogma 2. Despite releasing no games with a score of 90 or higher, Capcom nearly topped our rankings for the second consecutive year thanks to the overall strength of its offerings. Every Capcom release in 2024 received positive reviews from critics, even if many of those releases were merely repackages of older titles like Ace Attorney. And 2025 is shaping up to be another big year for Capcom, with the just released Monster Hunter Wilds becoming the publisher's fastest selling game in history. And last, but definitely not least, number 1, Sega. 12 titles. Best 2024 game, Metaphor ReFantazio. The first publisher to achieve our number 1 ranking 3 times. Sega has buoyed by the massive critical acclaim for the JRPG Metaphor ReFantazio, a rare all-new IP in a sea of remakes, ports, and sequels. And speaking of the latter, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth also scored in the 90s. Sega's only real dud last year was Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Sweep the Board, which was that fucking board game. And even with that disappointment, the publisher still finished with the year's highest average Metascore. And then we can see the previous recipients. 2024 was Capcom, 2023 was Sony, 2022 was Microsoft, despite them having their worst year ever. 2021 Sega, 2020 505, and you can read the rest. I'm not gonna go through all that. But yeah, Sega for the 3rd year, not in a row, but 3rd time.
Just ever, right?
They are the publisher of the year when it comes to Metascore.
Okay.
That, you know, when people say that Xbox is gonna become Sega, you know, I guess it don't sound too bad.
Not
I guess.
a bad thing, yeah.
Yeah. I was actually expecting this. I was expecting them just based on their releases and the scores that they were getting. Mm-hmm. But were you expecting Sega to top the charts?
Yeah, I mean, I was there too. Sega number 1 publisher of last year. So yeah, it wasn't too surprising considering that I knew the games that they put out were like really high quality. All of them, maybe except for SMT 5, even Unicorn Overlord. Yep. That's Sega too. All of them could have been in contention of Game of the Year. You know, Infinite Wealth was a highly rated game when it came out. Same thing with Metaphor. Persona 3 Reload also was highly rated. So yeah, kudos, man. Kudos. They're killing it. They're killing it.
Yeah, and they were my personal publisher of the year as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it was much deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Are they gonna repeat this year?
Nah.
I don't think so.
Nah,
but
it might be Microsoft this year, honestly.
But what about when Persona 6 releases? You know, when Persona 6 releases this year?
Not
90,
happening.
95, 96
Not
Metacritic.
Not happening,
Not
bro.
happening. Persona 6.
Definitely
you're
not.
not hoping that Persona 6 releases, Subegos?
Bro, I don't think they've ever done that. I don't think they've ever
This is a brand new
announced the
Sega
game and launched the game in the same year.
This is a brand new Sega. Come on.
They might announce the game this year. I'll say that.
I mean,
But
technically, Unicorn Overlord was released within a year of its announcement.
Sure. And then you could even say the same with the Persona 3 Reload 2, probably. But still, that's separate years though. Separate years. It might have been announced and launched.
Yeah, but you know, Sega's you know they getting a lot of influence from Xbox. You know, Xbox, they like to announce games and then release them in the same year now. That's where we going as an industry, you know?
You want to give the listeners context why we're talking like this?
Yeah, so if you listen to previous episodes and you know about our Fantasy Critic League, Sabagos, he counterpicked Persona 6, which was on one of our members, Spitta. He got Persona 6 on his list, and he counterpicked in the hopes that Persona 6 would not release. He believes Persona 6 is not releasing this year. So that means that he won't lose any points. But if Persona 6 does release this year, and it does score in the 90s like most Persona games does, he's gonna lose so many points that his chances of winning will basically be nil. And that's what I'm hoping for. So yeah.
So is it like, so let's just say the game scores in like the 92 or something like that. Like how many points would I lose?
So you lose 24. You said 94? Or you said 92?
92, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be 24 total because it'll be 22 and then you got to double every point after 90. So it'll be 2 extra points.
Fuck. Holy shit, yeah. That would put a crater on my score.
Yeah, it would. I can't wait. Atlas,
nah, bro.
If you're listening to this,
No.
I don't even care if the
do
game. Look, release it broken. I don't care. Just release it. Just do it,
Bruh. I mean, if the Monster Hunter fans are anything to go by.
Look. But yeah, man. Shout out to Sega, bro. Shout out to Atlas. They definitely carried that score for sure. But yeah, man. Sega seems quiet this year. They don't besides Pyro Yakuza. I'm trying to think what they actually have. I don't think it's much besides like Sega or Sonic Racing. Really, there's really not much happening compared to last year. So I think this is gonna be a quiet year for them.
Yeah.
All right, but anything you want to add before we move to the next topic?
Nah. We'll probably still get that Metaphor, deluxe super edition sometime either this year or next year, and stuff like that. So there's still other things that they could probably give us in the pipeline.
All right. Speaking of Sega, Sonic, the worst Sega IP ever created, has actually done something good, gaming related, for once in his existence. Because of how bad Sonic games are, and the urge that Sonic fans have to fix these bad games that they love so much, we actually got a discovery that could change preservation for Xbox 360 games forever. It all started with Sonic Unleashed, a game that does not have a native PC port, but a lot of fans have been wanting to have one because once you have that native port, you can do a lot to mod the game, fix the game, and create an actually enjoyable experience, unlike Sonic Unleashed, the original version. And there was a team who sought to do that. And they were not only able to create a PC port, a native PC port from that game, but they actually realized that they can now use this tool to do it for any Xbox 360 game. A tool for recompiling Xbox 360 games to native executables on PC released on GitHub. Is it GitHub or GitHub? I feel like
I think it's GitHub.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
And you can now recompile any Xbox 360 game into a PC port thanks to this team. So, Sonic fans, this like y'all like to take dubs when y'all don't deserve the dub all the time. But this time, I will give you the dub. Y'all actually did something good. And funnily enough, it's because your games are so bad that y'all had to jump through hoops to like y'all had to create this tool just so you can play a good Sonic game. So congrats to you, I guess. But yeah, Subegos, we're about to be seeing a lot of Xbox 360 ports to PC. Any off the top of your head that you want to see?
The Gears games. Even though we might be getting after, but I'll take those. Shit, I mean, I don't even know what's not on the 360 or what's not on the PC that's on the 360. Give me the not Infinite Wealth, Infinite Undiscovery, maybe. We'll take that.
JRPGs.
Of
There's
course,
a lot of
all
JRPGs still stuck on 360.
Lost Odyssey, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
might
one.
be one of them. Blue Dragon, of course.
I was also gonna say that.
What else? I don't know what else is stuck on there, but
There's one game that I want more than anything. One game that is one of my favorite JRPGs that is very obscure, does not get talked about enough. Eternal Sonata.
okay.
And I remember I remember this is one of those games that I played and forgot about. Like literally just from my memory. Never like just completely forgot this game existed. And then one day I remembered. I was like, holy shit. It like flooded back to me and all the emotions and everything about the game kind of flooded back and how much I loved it. I was like, bro, that was my shit. I need to play this game now. How can I play this? Not there's no it wasn't backwards compatible on 360 or on Xbox. There was no PC version. And I really didn't want to emulate at the time on PS. Like I didn't want to get the PS3 emulator and do all that.
Yeah.
So the only way of playing it was through PlayStation Now, cloud streaming. I was like, I'm already paying for PlayStation Now. Okay, cool. So started it on PlayStation Now. It's mostly like.
Answer to your specific question, but according to en.wikipedia.org, with the expansion of the PlayStation Plus service to offer additional tiers in May to June 2022.
Google.
PlayStation Now subscription.
Okay, Google. Stop. Can't stand her ass, bro. So I'm over here like, okay. Well, I'm playing through PlayStation Now. I'm like, all right, it's mostly stable. It's cool. It's like it's getting the job done. It's not an action game by any means, so it's not like I need it to be one-to-one input, all that. So I'm enjoying myself. I'm getting through. I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's hidden. I love it. And then I put it down as I usually do. But I'm like, I'm gonna come back to it for sure. Guess what happens the next month? PlayStation Now no longer exists. And PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium are replacing PlayStation Now. I'm like, okay, cool. That's fine. Like, and you're gonna have your game library. Like, okay, like it's basically still PlayStation Now at the end of the day. PS3 games are still gonna be streamable. Okay, that's fine. I'm like, all right. And I get my PS5. And I'm like, you know what? I want to get back to Eternal Sonata, and I want to finish it. So I go through. I have PS Plus Extra at this point, or Premium, whichever one. I'm like, okay, let's see. Wait, I go to the icon. That Eternal Sonata is still on my shit. This game is not compatible anymore. What the fuck do you mean it's not compatible? This was a PlayStation Now game, but PlayStation Plus has an entirely different library. Less games, by the way. Less games. So I'm over here like I was literally just playing this game on PlayStation Now. All y'all did was change the name. Y'all didn't even do anything different. It's the same cloud system, and now I can't play this game just because y'all changed the name of the service. So I was pissed, and I've been wanting. I'm like, I don't even know who owns the game at this point. I'm pretty sure it's Bandai Namco, but I don't know if we're ever gonna get a remaster or anything. So that is the PC port that I need. I need someone to get that, or at least Xbox make it backwards compatible, whichever comes first. But I need that for sure. So yeah, that was my little rant as well.
Sure.
All right, let's move on. No more Last of Us. Last of Us Part 2 might be the final game in the franchise. Neil Druckmann was asked if he's going to make Last of Us Part 3. And he says in an interview with Variety, and he says, quote, "The only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more of Last of Us. This could be it." Subegos. The Last of Us franchise is over?
Nah, I don't think so.
Because Factions 2 is still coming out, right? Because we're getting Factions 2, that's why, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I just don't believe it, because considering that, like, they've had re-releases and stuff, but each game has sold 10 plus million. I just don't think that Sony would be okay with walking away from that. You know what I'm trying to say? So, you know, maybe he doesn't want to make it, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure it's like, so whatever Sony says, so like happens. So, I just don't think that they would abandon Last of Us IP like that. So I do think that there is still going to be another game, but I mean, if Naughty Dog says no more Last of Us, then no more Last of Us. But I don't know. I just don't believe it.
But Drucky gets whatever he wants. You ain't hear that? No, Drucky
sure.
really, he's really the head of PlayStation, if you haven't noticed. But I agree. This is definitely like, if Intergalactic failed, or somehow, if Intergalactic failed, Concord bad. They're going straight to Last of Us, like, or they might go to Uncharted, like maybe, but they're running back to one of their IP if Intergalactic fails. Like, it's gonna be Uncharted or it's gonna be The Last of Us, and I think for the most part, The Last of Us might have a higher sentiment, maybe. Sure. But yeah, they're not abandoning this IP by any means, unless Intergalactic takes off and it's another successful new IP, and like doing Uncharted and Last of Us numbers, then they're probably gonna do a trequel for that.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a trilogy. Why the fuck did I say trequel? So yeah. Or maybe not even a trilogy. Maybe we'll just get 2 games like Last of Us. But
Yeah.
I can see them going straight to another intergalactic if it's a success. But if it's a failure, do you think they're going to get a second chance to do another intergalactic? Doubt.
Yeah.
I think they're going to run back. Tony, or I'm not going to say they're not going to want to run back. I don't think Naughty Dog. I believe Neil Druckmann when he says he, like, for him, Last of Us is in the past. But if Sony says, yeah, y'all going back to Last of Us, that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I actually want to see them keep working on new IP versus running back to their tried and true. And that's for almost every developer. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the ones who only do new IPs, and I'm like, can y'all had a good idea here? Can y'all go back and give us a sequel to this?
Yeah, like Vanillaware.
Yeah, bro. Like Unicorn Overlord 2, I can already see where that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, or Dragon's Crown 2.
Yeah, I don't care about Dragon's Crown that much, but what was there? The one before Unicorn Overlord. I always forget the name.
13 Sentinels.
Yeah, 13 Sentinels. I would love to get a 13 Sentinels 2 though.
Sure.
But yeah, that's all I got at this. I mean, that's all I have to say on that. But shout out to Druckmann. I feel like I used to hate Neil Druckmann, and I definitely don't agree with him politically. But at the same time, I've come to appreciate him as a creator.
Sure.
But I feel like I didn't like him because he definitely was the reason that Amy Hennig got pushed out. I didn't even like Amy Hennig like that either, but it was definitely on some like he was on some fuck shit with that. Like,
sure. Yeah.
It was definitely some Jim Ryan, Sean Layden type shit going on in Naughty Dog at that time.
He just kind of strikes me as someone that be on like a power trip. I don't know. That's just outside looking in though.
He definitely has some douchey vibes for sure. But yeah, shout out to Jerky Boy though. All right, we're almost done. 2 more topics, but this one, I don't know if you actually seen the publisher that I'm talking about, but I purposefully left out who it is in the link to it just to see if you knew which iconic publisher is making a comeback. Have you seen the news about it?
No.
Okay. So I want you to think of some 90s, 2000s, like early 2000s publishers that were like top of the, like they were very big at the time. I want you to guess who it is who's coming back.
Konami?
No, like actually dead. Not like,
oh, okay.
Like
okay.
literally they do not exist right now, but they will exist.
Is it fuck. What's that? What are those motherfuckers that made the that like drawing tablet?
They made the drawing tablet.
You know what I'm talking about?
They made a drawing tablet, like a Wacom display, like.
No, they like it was like a. It might have been Konami that I'm thinking of. Shit. I don't even know, bro.
Bro, you gotta think of your.
I was
past
1 year
publishers.
old in 2000, bruh.
Come on.
I was 1 year old in 2000.
Hold on. Don't fucking lie to me.
I was one, bro. What do you want me to
That's
do?
crazy.
I was one in 2000, bro. I was almost 2 years old when 9/11 happened.
Damn, I be forgetting this motherfucker. You know what? You just pissed me off. Can't stand your kind. Wait,
Bruh.
you barely a 90s baby, bro. I can't even.
I'm a 99 baby, bro. I'm a 99 baby.
Man, we've been singing 90s baby this whole time, and you only 10% 90s, bro. Like, this is crazy.
Like 1%. All right,
right.
but I'm a 90s kid though.
So I don't know if you played old N64 games or Super Nintendo games, then you would know this publisher.
Okay.
Acclaim.
Okay.
And
It does not ring a bell, bro.
Oh
I'm
my
not even
God.
not at all.
I can't
not
stand
at
them.
all.
I can't take this, guys.
This is who's running the fantasy critic right now, bro.
So yeah, Acclaim. They were founded in the early 80s, but they made some sports games that were big. They published Mortal Kombat on other consoles outside of Sega, the Sega Genesis, like the Game Boy Advance, or not Game Boy Advance. Was it Game Boy or Game Boy Advance? One of the handheld versions of Mortal Kombat. Acclaim had a hand in that.
Okay.
They also would publish some Japanese games like Bust a Move and Double Dragon, but they were a publisher known, like they would actually help publish big games such as like from other studios like NBA Jam, NFL Quarterback Club. That was a big one for them as well. And they did some Marvel games as well. Like they also had some studios that they acquired, like Iguana Entertainment. And I don't know if, bro, Iguana Entertainment, worst studio ever. Fuck them niggas. Oh, bro, have you ever heard of a game called Iggy's Wrecking Balls?
Never.
I gotta put it on the screen. I want you to look up Iggy's Wrecking Balls, bro.
Sure, I got you.
That, I don't know why I used to play that game like it was the greatest shit ever. And then they added it to Switch Online, and I was like, oh my god, it's Iggy's Wreck. This was my childhood. I played that shit. I was like, what the fuck was I playing back then? I thought this was hot shit. And it was literal hot shit. It was shit. Terrible game. I love that game. Don't you ever talk about it. Only I can talk about it. But anyone else who tries to talk shit about Iggy's Wrecking Ball, like we don't do that. Iggy's Wrecking Ball, that was my childhood.
That shit look like Fun Run.
But yeah, you play this iguana ball thing that would like pull his penis out as a grapple hook, and you would race the other players, and you can like grab them and attack them. It was kind of Mario Kart-ish. It just was like a different twist on like the Mario Kart racing kind of thing, where it was more about going vertical versus horizontal. It was me and my brother and sister used to play this shit an insane amount.
Okay, we're just gonna do
But
that.
this was a dumbass game. Like like playing it again. I tried to force my girlfriend to play it, and I was like, yeah, like this is fun, right? She's like, yeah. But yeah, Acclaim, like their that logo is so iconic to me. Like that shit is so nostalgic. And then they went into bankruptcy in 2004, and like it was over for Acclaim.
Yeah.
But that might not be the end, because Francis Di Persio, I don't know, on Twitter has come out, and he said the iconic publisher Acclaim is back in business. I'm pleased to announce I'm the company's PR manager. As someone whose love for games was kindled alongside titles like Wizards and Warriors and Tiger Heli, I couldn't be more humbled to be a part of this exciting new chapter. So
Okay.
that is, and then we got the the Twitter handle Play Acclaim that they just brought to life. A new chapter begins for us. Press restart. Join us on this journey and stay tuned for what's to come for gamers and game developers. Hashtag Acclaim is back. So, as an old man who grew up with these games, this one, I felt that shit, bro.
Okay.
This shit means something to me. Now, in today's era of gaming, like, I don't know why they would want to come back, honestly. But like this, I don't care what the first game is. I might just have to buy it just off the strength alone.
Sure.
Like just for the love of the game, bro. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
So I know they don't really have, like, it doesn't do anything for you, but you know, play Acclaim is back, bro. Like, the fact that we're even getting a revival of such a, like, 2004, bro. Like, they that's when they died.
Yeah.
And they're 2025, like 21 years later, resurrected. So how do you what is that? Does that do anything for you? Like, I don't even know what to ask you. Like, like, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough space. I'll say that they definitely have a huge mountain to climb, especially now. But it can be done. It can be done. Absolutely. As long as they make sure to budget correctly and make sure to hire as much as they can take on and not overhire and all that shit. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's nice to hear a new pub or a former publisher trying to come back into the space, especially considering how many layoffs we've already talked about in just these like few months that we've done this. So yeah, I mean, this is cool. I'm definitely gonna keep my eye out on them for sure. Especially if they have like a legacy behind them. Yeah, this is cool. I'm digging it.
Yeah, I'm hoping they start with indie games. Like, they start off as just the indie game publisher, and yeah. I mean, I guess that would be the only thing they could really do from. But it does say on their home or on their website, the new quote old mission. The new Acclaim is founded by a passionate team of industry veterans with a focus on empowering developers and creators to bring their games to the widest possible audience. We provide funding and publishing services to video game developers, including production, PR, marketing support, distribution, and more. So, yep, they're a publisher through and through. No in-house games being made or anything. Just, it is just going to come down to having a good eye and knowing how to manage these games that they will be publishing. And hopefully they have a good team there who can do that. Now, hear me out. Annapurna, you know, they just had a mass what am I trying to say? They just had like a mass like walkout as far as that company goes. And we know Annapurna, they had an eye for these indies, bro. Like, they knew how to catch them for sure. And then we just see Acclaim revive very soon after that. If also Humble Games also had a little they had the layoffs there as well. I'm thinking that we might get some talent from those two working at Acclaim now. And if that's the case, I think they're in good hands for sure.
Sure.
So yeah, that's how I'm looking at it, at least.
Yeah.
That's me being optimistic for sure. But if they got some talent, any talent from those two, like they should be in good hands, because Humble Games and Annapurna were amazing when it came to having an eye and managing these indie games.
Sure.
But yeah, if there's nothing else, let's move on to our final topic, I believe. Yes. All right. Scalebound will never die.
Never.
Whether it's just as a meme or Tamiya trying to make it happen, but there's something about this game that I'm always just rooting for it to happen. Now, the internet will try to tell you that Scalebound never looked good and that people were not hyped for Scalebound, and you know, today they'll try to act like that, but when Scalebound was first revealed, there was hype for that game. Like, I don't care what anybody says.
Absolutely,
the hype
absolutely.
for Scalebound was real. People were like, yeah, I will get an Xbox just for this game.
Yeah.
And I had an Xbox One already, but this was like my most anticipated game. But then the cancellation. Now I will say the first reveal looked amazing. It obviously frame rate, choppy, blah blah blah. Fucking narrow Dante with headphones. Yeah. Like cool, but like gameplay looks sick. That transformation when he put on the armor, that shit was fire. The dragon in the background just mopping. I was like, yeah, bro, like this shit about to be fire.
Yeah.
The multiplayer trailer that they showed, worst trailer. Worst showing I've ever seen. Like now when people say, if people said, yeah, that trailer right there, that gameplay made them skeptical about the game, cool. But that first trailer was fucking fire. Like I don't want anybody to say that they were not hyped when that first trailer happened. Then the cancellation, bro, that shit devastated me. Like I was really like, fuck Xbox after that. Like the way I felt when Hi-Fi Rush, like when Tango Gameworks and Arcane got, I felt that way about Scalebound, bro. It was really like, yeah, fuck Xbox, fuck Phil Spencer, fuck like all of y'all, bro. It's a wrap, bro.
Yeah.
So, but Scalebound has lingered as like everyone, you know, when anyone's talking about Xbox, it's always remember Scalebound, you know, like, and people did not let it go. I didn't let it go, but like, there's something about this game, bro. It is just, it will never, like, no one played it. No journalists, no one besides the people at Platinum played it. We only saw 2 trailers, really. But there's something about this game that just keeps, like, it never fades. You know how many canceled games that I've just forgotten about and just never even think about? Scalebound is not one of them, bro. So I don't know what it is about this game, but it's iconic.
Yeah.
In good and bad ways.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2020, we got the first thing about Scalebound since the cancellation, where Platinum Games, I think it was Inaba, who said they would love to work on the game again. And then we were like, oh shit, there's hope. Then in 2021, Kamiya apologized to Xbox and to the fans for canceling, like basically saying it was his fault that Scalebound was canceled. Which, if you kept up, we all knew that it was their fault, but the non-Xbox fans always felt that it was Microsoft's fault that it was canceled. And Microsoft does have a little bit to play into that, but for the most part, Scalebound was canceled because Platinum was taking the funding that Microsoft was giving them and putting it towards Bayonetta 2 and Nier Automata instead of towards Scalebound. And Xbox finally got to the point where they were just like, yeah. And then it was also like the fact that they were trying things that were new to them, like Unreal Engine, and also making a multiplayer game for the first time as well. So all of that kind of came together, and Microsoft ultimately made the decision that, yeah, it's a wrap. So Kamiya did apologize. Obviously, he didn't say that what actually happened, which was that he was taking the funding, but he just said it was his fault and that Microsoft tried their best to help them, and like it really wasn't their fault, which was cool to see. But then in 2022, Kamiya also said that he was like, hey, Phil, let's make it happen. Let's get Scalebound. Let's do it. Like, I'm ready. And this was before he left Platinum. But then he did make the comments after leaving Platinum again. But now, Kamiya is not done. Kamiya still wants it to happen, and he actually put out a video on Twitter actually, where he's on the computer and he has a crowd of developers around him, and he's like, oh, why is everyone crowding around here? There he is playing Scalebound, even though like that was a clip from the trailer. I could literally see. He's like, today's Clovers. So this is the tweet. Today's Clovers noticed some excitement around Kamiya's desk. He was reminiscing about the development of Scalebound while watching YouTube videos. Oh, okay. He wasn't playing it. He was watching the trailer. That makes more sense. And then he's like talking about like what he was trying to do with the game to the developers. It was a short clip, but it was pretty cool. And then he goes on to say, like he quotes that Clover's tweet and says, "Let's do it, Phil. Let's do it." So he is still trying to get Scalebound off the ground. And it's funny because I don't think Inaba's at Platinum anymore, so I guess we won't be seeing Platinum try to make Scalebound, since that entire team is now gone, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clovers, Scalebound, Microsoft still owns the IP. So is it happening, bro? Is this finally the one?
You know, Microsoft seems like they're on a really big, like, you know, fulfilling people's dreams kick. I think so. I think they will. I think they'll bite.
Now, Ninja Gaiden started development around 2020, late 2020, 2021. Kamiya was still there, so I'm pretty sure he had a somewhat big part of the development of that game with Xbox. So I don't think there's any bad blood between Kamiya and Xbox like a lot of people might think.
Absolutely.
So even after leaving Platinum, I think he would still be able to get in the room with Xbox and the team.
Yep.
Now, just like with Ninja Gaiden 4, if there's any talks of this happening, I don't think we'll see anything about it until it's ready to launch, like just like Ninja Gaiden 4. Mm-hmm. Because of if this game get canceled again, it's gonna be devastating, bro. Like that shit is gonna that shit would kill. I mean, obviously not gonna kill Xbox, but like it's gonna be a headline for years again. Xbox cancels Scalebound for the second time. Like,
yeah, it's gonna.
So
yeah.
if Scalebound is in the works, if they hash out that deal, we will not see that in any time soon. Like until it's 6 months out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, Tamiya and even Platinum now, they're not in the same position as they were in 2015, 2014, whenever this was announced. He's made open world games that have succeeded. This was like his first attempt at an open world game. But also he's made multiplayer. Actually, I don't think they should do multiplayer. They should just cut all that out. That shit looked, it didn't look like it needed multiplayer in the first place. But if they were to do multiplayer, he's made, I shouldn't say he. Actually, no. Tamiya, actually part of the reason he left Platinum was because he didn't want to make shit like Babylon's Fall that the actual CEO of Platinum was forcing them to make. So I don't think multiplayer would be, and I think multiplayer was more Xbox's idea, like being pushed onto him versus it being something he wanted to do. And Xbox isn't doing that anymore. You know, they're not forcing shit onto developers and trying to shape how they make their games. So I think if Kamiya said, I want to make a single player Scalebound, maybe not even open world. I don't even think it doesn't really need to be open world, honestly. But I mean, you're riding a dragon. I think it has to be open world just because of the sense of scale.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it could happen, bro. Now it all comes down to Tamiya having a good pitch and showing that he can pull it off and it looking manageable.
Yep.
But yeah, I want it. No matter, like, I want it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's bad. Just put, like, I just want it. I just want it to exist. Just to end this. No, actually, it can't be bad because that would just be like, man, 15 years of waiting for Scalebound and it's fucking shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna be optimistic in this.
Sure.
Yeah. Anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, like I said, like this is one of those things where it's like damn, like, so I've heard this mentioned so many times on so many different podcasts, like as a joke, people trolling, all that shit. So it's like the fact that there's even the chance of it happening now, it's awesome. It's awesome, man. I want to see it happen, man. I want to see it happen. Phil, be the one to fulfill people's dreams, bro.
Phil, let me see who. Maybe, okay, look, I think they'll wait for Okami 2.
Okay.
And if Okami 2 hits and it's got like it has the peak Platinum gameplay and charm and polish, then they might be like, okay, you know, we see that Clover's is doing good things over there. If you want to come and make Scalebound, we got you. We'll fund it.
Yeah.
Because if they held a grudge, we would not be getting Ninja Gaiden 4. Like if they still held a grudge of Platinum and Kamiya, we would not be getting Ninja Gaiden 4. So I think there's no beef, there's no grudge about it. I think and we even got talks that Microsoft is in talks with Moon Studios, even though there was some bad blood between them for a little bit as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least that's what we were hearing. But Thomas Mueller, or I forgot it, Thomas Mueller, I forgot his name. He says that it wasn't really bad blood. It just didn't really work out with the talks of no rest for the wicked. He didn't want it to be exclusive and all that. But yeah, I think like we're getting them talking to Moon Studios. We got them working with Platinum Games. Like the bad blood, like even Square Enix is back on board. Like, bro, make it happen, bro. This could be the resurrection. All we need is for a new Inafune game to make up for how they did Recore dirty. Like, make up for how they did Recore dirty, get Scalebound, and we'll forgive you for Xbox One generation, or at least I will. I don't know if everyone else will, but I would.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, and get Crytek back. Get that Rise Son of Rome 2. Get Rise 2, and yeah,
sure.
You know, I hated Rise Son of Rome, but a sequel, especially like Crytek today, they could do a good job with that. Not gonna lie. But I will never forgive them for. Do you remember the first trailer for Rise? The real Rise.
At E3, right?
Not E3 2013 with the Xbox One, but the first Rise was a Xbox 360 game. The first time we ever saw it, and it was a Kinect game.
Okay.
It was a first person Kinect game where you had a sword in one hand, shield in the other hand, and you were like using the Kinect to fight all of these enemies. That was the Rise I was excited about. I was like, bro, this is what we need. Like, we needed that like Red Steel kind of vibes for, but like a like it was like a Roman Empire like version with sword and shield. It looked so good. It was visceral. And I was like, bro, like I love Kinect. I love the idea of Kinect. I love everything about Kinect. Obviously the execution for most games was bad, but I was like, if like the ones that did work, they did like they were great. So I was like, yeah, I was excited about that. But then 2013 rolls around and here comes Rise, third person. I was like, this don't look like no Kinect game. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't no Kinect game. They just changed this shit into God of War. So I was upset about that. And the game sucked also. No matter what COG tries to say, that game sucked. Okay, like stop putting the rose tinted good. But look at the graphics. Best 900p game. I don't give a fuck. That game sucked. It was terrible. Great story though. Great story. Great graphics. Gameplay was ass. But yeah, that's all. Like, make those three happen, and we on good terms. Xbox One generation redeemed. But that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else before we wrap up the show?
Nah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't wait. You know, I'm putting this out there. That next time we see Scalebound, bro, that's gonna feed families, bro. That's gonna feed fucking generations. It's gonna be crazy.
But yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna put it into. It's gonna happen, bro. We don't know when, but it's gonna happen. Next generation, the generation after next, we get in Scalebound, bro. Even if Kamiya has nothing to do with it, because they do own the IP, they can give it to anybody. Honestly,
yeah,
it's gonna happen. We gonna get that Scalebound.
Sure, yeah, happen one way or another.
But with that is it. That is all we have for you guys today. Thank you all for tuning in, and to all the people leaving comments in the chat. We do appreciate the support. If you're not subscribed and enjoyed the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you like the show, wait, what am I saying? I keep on mixing stuff up. Make sure you guys hit that like button because we love you guys and help us grow this channel as well. And stay tuned for when Dual-Wield Gaming Podcast goes live on Thursdays. But let's get some outros out the way. The bagels, appreciate it. I'm glad you were feeling better. I felt bad kind of pushing you through the last episode. I was trying to wrap it up as fast as possible.
It's all
but
good.
I'm glad you were in good spirits. We all good. So yeah, man, where can we find you? What you got going on?
Yeah, so the main place that I've been plugged in is Twitch. I haven't streamed in like 2 weeks, but I am planning on streaming Split Fiction tomorrow. I got my homie Tim. He wants to play with me, so should be a fun stream. I think the game is gonna launch at 8 a.m. our time, so I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know if I'll be live that early, but I'll definitely be live tomorrow. At least I'll hopefully be live. I don't want to say definitely here because then they might sue me like Drake. But I want to stream the game. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, twitch.tv/Subegels. If not that, then I should play either like Avowed or Pirate Yakuza. But Twitch. That's really the only one I want to plug this time. But yeah, check me out on Twitch, please.
All right. I just want y'all to see how dumb I am because let me see. There's this. I'm showing off demon tides, and there's this platform here that I was just like doing the most trying to get up. But then watching this clip, I realized that I was just being a dumbass because the solution was way easier than I made it out to be. Because all I had to do was, it's a little bit ahead. Went too far back. Yeah, this one. I'm over here trying my damnedest to get up here when all I needed to do was just go behind and just do consecutive wall jumps up the two walls. But I kept trying to do it from the front for some reason. And I'm literally looking at this throughout the stream. I was like, bro, what was I doing? Was I drunk? Like it obviously it's so like I'm looking at it, I was like it was such a simple solution and I made it so convoluted for no reason. But yeah, I don't know what it is when you're playing it. I just did not see it at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, you can find me on twitter.com at pastafeet F3ET, where I talk the most shit and call out these Monster Hunter fans for being budget Pokemon fans. But also you can find me on twitch.tv/DonSolo on Mondays and Tuesdays. I stream for like 30 minutes on Tuesday. I was just not feeling it at all, so I'm sorry if you were expecting anything there. But this week I should have some longer streams going.
Absolutely.
And of course, you can find me right here on YouTube, where not only do we do the Dual-Wield Gaming Podcast every Thursday, but also live every Saturday. We do Project Untitled Gaming Podcast, working title, with my day ones. Very hectic, but we do read your comments. We do bring in the chat, so show up, you know what I mean, leave some comments. Definitely a fun time. But with that, is there anything we want to leave for the people? I'm gonna be playing Split Fiction and FragPunk, so I'll probably be streaming FragPunk and playing Split Fiction off stream with my girl, so that's what we'll be talking about next week. But yeah, anything you want to leave for the people before we wrap it up?
Definitely check out our Twitches, check out the games that we're playing, but just there's so many new games, man. There's so many new games. So there's literally something for everybody coming out. So if you're bored, or if you're complaining about being bored, you know, I just gotta say, open your eyes. There's so many games. Literally all these games are doing something different, cool, unique, something fun. But yeah, just play these games.
Facts. And with that, let's get out of here. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy your week, your weekend, month, year, all of that. Enjoy life. Don't be the kid. Don't be man on the moon too. Be, let's see, what's the most positive Kid Cudi? Be wizard. Yeah. Don't be man on the moon too. Be wizard. Okay. Be happy. Be healthy. You know what I mean? That's where you want to be. And with that, let's get out of here. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy everything. Bye-bye.
Peace.